So my baby comes to me and says, "Yeah, you should be good." How do you say Mickey Mouse in Japanese? And I was like, I don't know, but usually names are just names. It's just, Mickey Mouse. And she's like, no, because sometimes I ask Siri how you say banana in Japanese, and it said banana. So she's like, maybe it's Mickey Mouse.
Maybe so.
She's gonna be weeby as fuck.
Yeah. She's funny, man. I was thinking this is like the first time that we've been together in weeks, because you and I did last week, and then you and I and Dante did the week before, and so it's been a while since we've been together. Hope it's not weird.
I'm just glad it didn't snow today. And hopefully that's over.
Yeah. It has been snowing it's been a bunch of mild snowstorms, but it's been a lot.
Yeah. They piled up.
And together
2 inches,
Yep.
4 inches, 2 inches, 6 inches, and split 2 days apart.
It's all within 1 month, but the rest of the winter was dry.
And supposedly we got a polar vortex, Joe. I never heard of such a thing, but that's what they said. I listened to something that said we got a polar vortex. It sounds very dangerous.
I mean, I remember not hearing El Nino. So
dude, remember El Nino?
Oh, yeah.
But do you remember El Nino?
Do you think?
I remember the Il Nana.
Oh, I remember the Il Nana. Do you think that El Nino? When did they stop blaming shit on El Nino? Because it went on for a long ass time.
Yeah,
I feel like it was a decade later, and they'd be like, "It was all this El Nino."
I heard that something about that recently. I don't remember what.
I think it was the first time I heard, but that was in my 20s. Never heard of El Nino in my fucking life, and then
there's hot air and cold air, and they mix. That's what weather is. I mean, literally. That's,
yes.
I thought it was a particular storm. It was like they named it.
No, it was like an event.
Oh, it was like a weather event.
It was a jet stream event, basically.
But it was in California, right?
Yeah, it was off of that's where all our weather comes from, the West Coast. So.
Yeah, but all that shit, I'm like, it seems it might as well be on the other planet, outside of the other side of the planet. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even seem like it's part of the same country to me sometimes. Where they're like, the entire forest is on fire.
It's far.
I'm like, ooh, good thing that's in good thing that's in a different country.
It's not quite a quarter of a way around the world.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends on which countries. Several countries away if you're comparing size.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But it just seems like it's you know what I mean?
It's like a whole other world.
Yeah,
the West Coast is like a whole other world.
Yeah, it does seem that way sometimes. And I gotta stop and remind myself, oh no. This affects people that I know.
This land is your land.
Yeah,
this land is my land.
It's like 4 countries. Right? It's you got the West Coast, right, which is one thing, and then you got the South, which is one fucking thing.
Watch it.
Where are you from?
Watch it.
And you got the East Coast, which doesn't really count the South, really. It's like us and up.
Yeah, and depending on where you are on the East Coast, they get even more critical of where the defining lines are.
And then there's the rest in the middle that nobody.
The Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, Midwest. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be at least one more, because there's the Midwest, and then there's the cold ass states like Wyoming and Montana and shit.
I put all that shit together.
And then
people don't care. See,
okay,
people don't care, man. That's
and then Texas and
Texas is Texas though. It's his own country.
Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. I always lump and Nevada. I always lump those 4 together.
Yeah, they're all Texas though.
no, because Arizona's Texas. I'll give you that.
They got iced tea though.
Actually, New Mexico is probably Texas also.
Exactly. That's
but
what I'm saying.
But Vegas is not Texas.
Vegas is his own city state.
Oh wait, Vegas is in a different. Is it Nevada?
Yeah. But
Nevada's not.
Nobody
Texas.
cares about Nevada. It's just Vegas. It's like the Vatican.
Yeah. It's true.
Opposite, anti-Vatican.
That's probably a horrible analogy, but. Or maybe
it's
the city of sin versus the city of glory.
It's in the future.
The city of secret sin.
Oh yeah, that's true too. City of Sodom.
Is it Vatican or is that?
Yeah. The answer is yes. This is like when they talk about it's the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So, how old were y'all when you ever heard of a Venn diagram?
Like elementary school, 3rd, 4th grade.
Yeah, I don't remember what it called. It was something different.
Well, apparently
Chinese.
we just didn't learn that in Alabama because I mean I heard of one later in life, but I don't remember ever learning that. And Charlie had to do one the other day, and I'm
really?
like,
you never had to put things together in those 2 circles?
No,
that was commonplace. third, fourth grade, probably.
Different country, the South.
Yeah.
I guess things maybe just are a little bit more black and white in the South, Joe.
Oh, probably a little too black and white, if you know what I mean.
Hey.
Hey now.
Yeah, so welcome to Nerd Rage 289.
Is that what we are now?
Yeah, we're coming up.
Are we doing 300?
Yeah. I'm gonna put something together. I'm going
We're going to do a big-ass Zoom call.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm going. No,
Not even.
I was watching. What was I watching? As I was telling my wife, I was like, "Oh, it's like sounds like the Lemon Pledge lady from Family Guy." And she's like,
Oh.
No. But it's I'm going away at the end of the month on like a vacation. I haven't been on a vacation in quite some time, but I haven't been on like a family vacation that's not a con in a long ass time. So we're going away at the end of the month, and when I come back, I'm going to plan 300 as an event.
And see, we've been talking about 300 since like mid 200s, but like it's coming up fast.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. It's like, oh, it's 300. This is a while away.
Yeah. It's in May, I think. Phil did like a rough estimate, I believe.
Of course, it would be Phil. It doesn't.
Yeah, I think I was like, Phil, obviously this falls on you to figure out with it.
Do we have to cosplay as the 300 characters?
Yes.
I'm going to be the big tall guy with the piercings then.
Yes, please.
Xerxes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Get some bronzer.
I'm gonna be the mentally ridiculous one.
And Joe
Raise your shield.
and Joe gets to be This Is Sparta.
Yes.
I don't have any facial hair.
Yeah, but you know what?
I'll be the son, the one that got decapitated.
You can pull the rest of it off without a shirt on. I know I sure as hell can't.
Well, that's the reason for you not to do it, though. To be ironic, you should be the rhino.
I want to be the pit.
Yeah. Dude, that movie, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I should go watch it again. I like the sequel, too.
I don't know that I ever saw. I never saw the sequel.
I
What
liked
was
it.
the name again?
Rise of the 300
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah, I liked it, too, though.
No, I do like it. Yep.
It's not as good as 300.
Kind of hard to
It's
make
got a lot
a sequel. I guess.
of hot sex scenes in it, so
Yeah, that's true.
That chick is hot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's a big old
she
fact.
got a big old step on me energy.
I don't disagree.
Fair.
I don't disagree.
I know,
But I mean,
like
no,
that you know what I'm
I'll
talking
tell you,
about.
No stepmom I ever had. I can tell you that. But I'll take it. I would have taken it rather. It doesn't matter what my stepmom was like. I don't know why I was even ready to go into that conversation. I'll just leave that be.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. I did hear from my stepdad this week.
Richard.
That's weird that you remember that. That's my mom, right? Yeah. It's for the family, Richard. We do it for the family.
They have no idea who I am, but I know who they are.
Yeah.
A lot of people know who they are.
Now,
So yeah, that's true.
He's still married to your mom?
No.
No.
But they have a weird relationship. Like
He gives her money, or
No, like they still like hang out, and she
they're
remarried.
friends.
They
she
live-
remarried.
They
so
live-
it's a different stepdad that you're talking about.
No, I don't talk to the other guy. I don't even know the guy Mike. I almost
new guy?
Yeah, I almost
Okay.
fought him once over my sister. Well, it wasn't over my sister. My sister was a casualty of war. I was on the phone with my mom, and he was talking in the background like, "Oh, you're a real tough guy. Are you a real fuck?" I could hear him, right? And I was like, tell him we are going to bump into each other one day. Oh, let's see. Oh shit! I missed it.
that was ringing for 5 minutes. You didn't see it.
Yeah, I gotta leave it. No, I didn't see it. So anyway, he said all that. I said I'm gonna bump into him one day. I told my mom that. So my sister had to go to rehab at at Mount St. Joe. I think it was like the facility when she was having drug issues. So like I had like weekend events, or you bring your family and you give supportive dialogue and all that sorts of stuff. So I went, and she was there, and so was he. So I just waited because I walked in like I wasn't late, but they were there before me. Mm-hmm. So I just sat. I sat through the whole, we love each other, we're here for you bit, and then we left and we went out in the parking lot, and I got right next to my mom, like our face to face, but I pointed at that and I was like, "You had something you wanted to say?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "You sure? Because I'm pretty sure I heard you had something you wanted to say." And he's like, "Nope, nothing." And I was like, guess that's how he's built, to my mom. And then I left.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so I don't see eye to eye. I mean, he's not a stepdad, but this other guy was a stepdad to me. Like I grew up with him, so to speak, and heard from him. My cousin married someone, I guess as people do. I haven't spoken to her in God knows how long, and let me tell you just how vindictive my family is. But she had a husband, and the husband had stage 4 pancreatic cancer and died over the weekend. So like everybody's hitting me up like, oh, cousin so and so, her husband died. I'm like, I haven't heard. I haven't heard from you in a decade. I haven't heard from Stephanie since I was prepubescent, and I didn't even know she was married. I thought not that. I didn't think she was married. Mm-hmm.
You're on a tear today, and I'm enjoying just listening.
Yeah. So my mom says this. Hold on.
So this is your mom's siblings kid?
Yes. Have some sad news. Which is like, yeah, I'm getting ready. Aunt so and so called last night and said, I'm just gonna change the names.
Mm-hmm. Make it fun.
And said, Steve, cousin Casey's husband, he has at max 3 days, and he is going to pass away from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. None of the aunts can leave the house because they haven't had their second COVID-19 shot. They called Casey to see if she could step up and help. Casey said she needed help. For they were driving him home from the hospital. My mom's big on that.
Home.
Like, are you in the Knights of the Round Table? We have to go home, for it is late. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, hospice care at a facility. Okay, so he will be home with volunteer hospice care with Casey and another aunt. It is sad, however, these two have a lot of baggage with especially how they lied to their mother. So it's
why are you throwing that in there?
Why throw that in there, for one? I have no idea what that's about. The lady,
you don't even know them, basically.
Correct. The girl just lost her husband. And you're bringing up some lie from... look, people fucking lie. This shit happens. Like, somebody died. Just fucking swallow that for a minute, so to speak.
Women lie, men lie. Numbers don't lie.
That's what they say. I got news for you.
Except for streaming.
Numbers can definitely lie.
People can lie about numbers.
You can make numbers into whatever you want them to be.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, and then my stepdad hit me up and was like, told me like, oh, cousin so and so. I mean, what fantasy world are we living in where, like, they have to say the person's name and then say how it relates to me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how distant it is. Like, I don't like. Why are we LARPing?
My mom,
and I mean, it's not even related to him.
No, not at all.
My mom will call me sometimes with some news about one of my cousins, and I'm like, neat. I haven't seen them since we were playing in dirt together. I don't.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't wish that upon her.
You just don't know. It's just a stranger.
Yeah, I told you, just like I send pictures of strangers' kids to my mom. I didn't tell you that?
No. What?
I didn't tell you this?
No.
Okay, so this is good. I thought I had mentioned this. My mom is basically has parental custody of my drug addicted brother's youngest daughter.
Okay, it's him and his significant other are both have issues.
Correct. So she has custody of the youngest daughter, and I've never met this kid. It's my niece, but I've never met her. I have no idea who she is. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. Well, now I could because I get pictures all the time. So my mom just starts sending me pictures of her, like, all the time. Like, here she is blowing bubbles.
How old is she?
Oh, it's like me with my cats.
3.
Okay.
Yeah,
like cats can blow bubbles?
Out of the ass.
Wow.
You never chew a piece of bubblegum, stick it in your cat's ass, and make him blow bubbles?
Nope.
Me either.
So
that might be the most uncomfortable I've ever been on this podcast.
So I said, look, I appreciate that you're sending me these pictures, but her and I have a lot to work out, you know. And I was like, but I think I told her, I was like, but you and I have a lot to work out, and I have no idea who this person is. So it doesn't mean anything to me, these pictures that you're sending. I get that you are living, you're probably psychologically righting wrongs of your own children and with this one, and I can appreciate all that, but like, I don't know. So she kept sending them. Like, didn't get the point that I didn't want pictures of this kid all the time. So I just started sending her random pictures of kids too. So like,
since when?
It's probably been going on for 3 or 4 months now.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, so like I'll get on Google and I'll just put like happy kid, you know, and then like I just save a whole bunch of them, and then I'll be like,
Bobby, I need you to take about 4 steps back from the situation and let me see your phone, because I think it'd be best to delete some things off your phone.
So then
it look bad. Google was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?"
So then, like,
you're on a list somewhere. I guarantee you.
So I send it her way, and then one time it was like it happened to be 3 girls, right? They were like, I don't know, they're playing catch or something, and she was like, "Oh, now those are." She thinks they're my kids. Like, she's like, they're growing up so beautifully.
So this is
I'm
what
like,
you do.
I guess they are.
I
don't know who they are.
You take that picture and do a Google image search, find out who it is, and catfish your mom with a fake family.
So that's like my recent troll game.
So your kids never met her, right?
No.
Yeah.
She
never met him.
I send her a picture of black kids, Asian kids, like obviously like
Random.
Yeah, like I mean, like you're living in some third world country, like you have a straw dress on, like Hawaiian looking vibe, you know, and I'll just happy kids just doing their thing.
So, quick question: all these pictures of children you keep on your phone, do you have?
No, I don't keep the pictures on. My
do you
phone.
have them? Well, sure thing. Do you have them in folders like Asian, African American,
no,
poor,
no,
bougie?
No, but I just send them like
you should start sending like celebrities as children. I think it'd be funny.
So usually she sends like she's finger painting, and then I just send some up. So are they?
Kids finger.
So are they? Just random ass kids.
You know that
She's
sound?
fucking wild.
That's great.
To like not be it, like get it.
Yeah, and then she'll stop for a couple weeks, and then she'll start again, and I'll start again, and I mean, it's just like we got a lot more to talk about than
Yes.
you know, like but you know, my brother's coming up on his trial.
Oh yeah.
Very soon, the end of this month. So she starts texting me like all this like does this make sense to you? Like all these things, like trying to like make it seem like my brother didn't do it, and I'm like, Mom,
You know.
come on. Like, you know, my brother has a drug problem, right? And he needs help. However, he did something terrible, and he needs to pay his penance for that too, and it sucks. He also needs help in addition to the consequence that he needs to face. However, my mom is like, it's just like, she'll say, like, she knows he has a fucking drug problem, right? But then she'll be like, well, you know, he was playing with his kids, and the baby's mother sent over the not the lady, but the original baby mother, because she got, you know, sent over the authorities.
I'm gonna need you to draw me a chart.
Oh, you should know.
That's
about
like my
this.
whole family. That's like my whole family dynamics.
Aren't
It's
you
like,
used to this kind of family dynamic back in Alabama? Where you from?
Hey man, roots run deep, but the limbs are thin.
but like, so I did all that, and you know, but she'll so they sent the baby mom was like, look, I got a feeling he's on drugs. Have him randomly tested, and like they can do it under the contract or whatever that they have. So like the people showed up and randomly tested him, and it was positive, you know. And she was like, but he hadn't done anything. I was like, Mom, yes, he did.
He did drugs.
Yes, he did. That's what the test indicated, Mom. You misunderstand what the test means. Like, you know. But anyway,
The moms do like that, though, right?
I
In general,
guess
it's a specifically your mom's not the greatest example, but I feel like that's the thing mom do. Like you
I
interview
think
a serial killer's mom's like, but he's such a nice boy.
Well, so I think that this is my mom later in life. I feel like if this had happened, you know, 20 years ago, she'd have sold his ass down the river. You know what I mean? With anybody that knew him, anybody that looked like him. But like, she's gotten old and soft, I guess.
Trash.
Yeah. I mean, my grandma was that way for sure. Like I often said, like I could have set this house on fire, and she'd be like, it was the biggest fire the street had ever seen. The biggest.
The biggest.
The best.
The best fire it's ever been lit.
I don't know how I feel about making my grandma Donald Trump right now.
Just kind of naturally progressive.
Anyway, Chris, you showed up first. You got coffee first. Uncle Dolphin, how was your nerd 2 weeks?
I finished haiku. Did I say that? before? Haiku season 4.
Does that
Go with it.
353? Is that a haiku?
Yes, yes. I finished many of those.
No, they're easy to finish. To be
Very,
fair.
very, very.
If Coruscant Nights was 353, we'd rather had them back to you years ago.
Maybe. For my 50th birthday, I want Bobby to read those. That gives you 5 years.
Fair enough. 5 years, I can do it. It gives me a goal. I'm goal oriented.
That's been the problem the whole time.
Yeah, you didn't need a deadline. When you say whenever, it means never. Whenever.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah. I'm just looking forward to season 5. Don't know when it's going to drop. That show just makes me fucking hyped. I've never been so hyped about sports in my fucking life. And this is like fake sports.
I don't think I've ever.
I jump up and down and fucking pound on the goddamn table.
I'm trying to think if there's ever even fake sports that I've gotten hyped about.
Wrestling? This
Maybe Teen Wolf?
It's
Listen,
real to
I'm going to
him.
let you say a lot of things. But
Maybe Teen Wolf?
Airbud? Does that count?
Never saw it. Never saw it. I'm trying to think of
I
this.
watch it. Every time she watches, she fucking cries.
Like, I didn't get pumped at Rudy. Remember the Titans? I didn't get pumped.
The replacements.
Didn't get pumped. I don't even know if I saw that. Was that Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
no, I
of
didn't
course
see
it's
that.
Keanu
that
Reeves.
was a good movie.
And is that the one with Nelly?
Maybe.
I believe the winner was Nelly. You remember that?
What about The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, Nelly's in
That's
that
what
one because
Nelly-
Terry
yeah.
Crews is in that. Kevin Nash is in that.
No, I didn't. Maybe actually I did see
What
that.
about The Water Boy? You can't tell me you didn't get hype on Bobby Boucher.
I barely noticed it. I barely.
Really?
Yeah, because that was the movie I saw episode 1 trailer before for the first time.
And your mind was not in the right place.
I still don't know if I've ever actually seen Waterboy. I sat through it, but I was still thinking about how cool that duck face guy looked and how awesome Darth Maul looked. How history has a weird fate for me.
Vicky Valancourt showed me her boobies and I liked them.
Oh yeah.
That's a great movie.
League of Their Own.
I mean, I like League of Their Own. I like Major League.
Angels in the Outfield.
That,
No, it's one things on my ass now.
I think
Sandlot.
I think Danny
Sandlot's hard,
But it's not about the sport, though.
correct.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any sports.
Talladega Nights.
That's a good one, but I never got hyped for the race scene.
Days of Thunder.
No, I never got hyped for
You
the
didn't
race
get
scene.
that for the shake and bake? You didn't get hype for the shake and bake?
No, I mean, I love when they say shake and bake. They're two verbs. It rhymes.
Could have been in the cast.
Basketball. I didn't watch that, actually.
It's
No, that's the South Park shit,
Yeah.
right?
The corners are tough.
Yeah, I saw.
From Virginia McCarthy.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You just,
I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
I think I might own that.
I mean, I'm not surprised. You have things in shrink wrap.
Yeah, that's true.
Dodgeball? Did we say dodgeball?
No,
Dodgeball.
that's a great one.
That's a great one.
I don't think I ever got
Dodge,
hyped
dip.
for the game.
Dodge, dip, duck, dip, and
dive. Dodge, some shit.
You dodge, wrench, and
Average
dodge ball.
Joe's versus Global Gym?
Dude, I love in dodgeball. I love Ben Stiller with that whole bit where he's like, are you reading the dictionary? Like, oh, you caught me.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
He's like, I like to get a mental workout as well. Is that you? Is that you wrestling a bull? Is that a painting of you wrestling a bull? Yeah, it's me taking the bull by the horns. It's a metaphor, but it actually happened.
I didn't watch that movie yet. I've seen it many times. It's a
so
fucking great
good.
movie.
It's a good movie.
It's so good.
He's super fat at the end.
Yeah. Dude, Ben Stiller is great in that movie. I love all that role for me in comedic movies of like the snobby, pompous, like look down at everybody role is my favorite. I love that dude in Step Brothers. You know what I mean? I always talk about this scene where he's like, so I went out, we caught a trophy fish, and it's like, or it's like whatever it was, like a goober. And he's like, what's a goober? Is it big? It's what they call a trophy fish. So, yeah, it's kind of big. What's with this guy? Like, fucking asshole, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, you see these abs? I haven't had a carb since '84. You want to touch these bad boys? Like, that shit is so funny to me. I love that role. Like, it's in so many movies, but Ben Stiller does it. He does it. Like, anytime somebody like steps into those shoes, I'm just fucking sold. But yeah, I think sports. I don't think I've ever been hyped for a fake sports.
Yeah, this is the first time I've been like real hyped about the
I can tell you. So like, I was just thinking in my head, when have I ever been hyped for sports ever?
in general.
Jaina.
Oh, when she was
Jaina's
playing
basketball.
basketball.
Game. Yep, that's the only time, and I got super hyped. I got thrown out of the game, but I got super hyped.
And And it's not even because you're biased, because you were into it before she got good. You were into it when the other kid was good.
Yeah. Yep.
I think if you like didn't have anything else going on, you have a phone with you, and there was a game on. The only thing to do was watch that game.
I don't watch the game.
You just watch the paint dry.
I just space out.
Yeah,
It's happened before in parties where like
I feel like I would draw or read.
Yeah.
Or,
No, none of that's available.
None of it's
I
available.
space
Just,
out.
there's a TV.
And all you can do
I'm
is
really
watch
good
it.
at it.
I would watch it. I mean, I would sit there and watch it.
Saying that to say, I think you'd be invested in something at the end of a game.
a competition. I think just gets you right. You pick a side for no reason.
Well, I mean, you love those like Forged in Fire. That's essentially a sport.
it's a competition.
It's a dark art.
I think it's just something about competition that's like captivating.
Well, I think
High level at least.
I think like I can get into like when I can get into the performance element of it. Like
Lego Masters was phenomenal.
Lego Masters?
Dude, there's a reality show called Lego Masters where they build with Lego.
What channel? I mean, what?
Do you have Hulu?
Yes, I
It's on Hulu. Look it up.
Oh, fuck.
It came on Fox.
Oh, you
I
fucking.
think.
Yeah.
No.
like Allen Iverson. Like I've watched like
Me and my man AI got more in common
than just
balling
balling
and
and
rhyming.
rhyming. Get it? More in common.
Yep.
um.
Gotcha.
But they had like some video montage where he like makes people fall down.
Yes.
But like
You're talking
no,
about like and one mixtapes
that's-
and shit.
Yeah, like
Different.
I agree. I
I
agree.
can watch sports highlights anytime. That
I
shit
agree.
is fun to watch.
But I can appreciate that. See, I can't watch highlights necessarily. If it's just like somebody knocking the ball out of the park, doesn't necessarily do anything for me. But the performance of like this guy does this
You want
little,
to you want to see someone that look like a fool.
well, yes,
that's
or
what you want.
or like some sort of like he did like he's one hand springed off the such and such did a bet. You know, like when there's like some sort of performance to it, that's when I get into it. But sometimes I'm just like, this dude is moving a ball around and somehow it just made the other dude fall down. Like,
Broke
that
ankles.
That shit's funny to me.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry. Haiku. Hype.
Hype.
Haiku.
Hype.
My daughter was wearing shorts and a matching track jacket from that show when I left the house.
My kids have the jerseys.
It was
Orange.
It's a
white and purple.
picture.
I don't know.
My kids have the orange and blue.
I think the show's been around since before they were born. I mean, the manga at least. But at least
Jaina
Alina.
has one of the toys. Some big head dude.
They're all big.
Oh, they all big head?
I mean, anime. They're all kind of big headed, right?
Yeah, this one. I mean, this one might be like Mastermaid big head, like water.
It's a Neo.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking Android.
Yeah, that's the word. Neandroid.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
the Better Pops.
Neanderthal.
Yeah. It's a big old head on it.
BetterPops.com.
And then it started. Resumed JoJo Part 5, so I can finish it because I know Part 6 is going to be coming out around the corner.
Thank God.
Finally.
I mean, Part 8 is going on right now in manga, and Part 7's announced. So, Part 6 is the one with all the ladies.
Do they ever have the same issue that like Game of Thrones had, where like the anime moves faster than the manga? No, never.
No, this particular
No,
instance,
not in that, but just in general in the culture.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
they have to remake entire series. Because
That's
of that.
right. You have mentioned that
Yeah,
to me
like
before.
the
Copy that.
Full Metal Alchemist, they had remade the entire series after the manga was over.
Right.
Yeah, so they fixed it. They can't do that with Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
well, not
I mean,
that there's
they-
anything we fix for you, but you know.
Yeah, they could do a Game of Thrones, it would just cost far more. Like it's
Yeah.
like $1 million an episode.
Fucking speaking of anime coming out, like The Devil Is Apartheid season 2 is announced. Me and Chris are super hyped for this.
The devil is a part-time?
Yeah, a part-timer.
A part-timer.
Yes, this devil from another alternate universe that got sent here with his helper and also the chick that was fighting him, and now they have to adjust to like normal ass life because they don't have superpowers anymore. And he works at McDonald's,
Nice.
and then he became the manager because he's fucking brilliant.
Does he look like the devil or
No, just
okay.
like, he did
Just
when
a
he was in
dude.
the other world. Now he just looked like a fucking dude. And this other guy is like his minion. Is always fucking hunched
What's the
over
name of
and-
this? This sounds
The devil
interesting.
was a
The devil
part-timer.
is a part-timer.
But
the
like,
devil is apartheid.
Nope,
part-timer.
that's not it.
Well, that's awesome. Wow.
The
Way to
devil
pull
is
that-
a part-timer. Okay.
Yeah, that should be on Netflix. It's a series of night novels, it's not even manga. You can't read it.
Is it dubbed?
Yeah, it's dubbed.
Thank God.
But it's a big deal because it's been 6 years since season 1
My
dropped.
goodness.
So like, this gives me hope for other things Netflix did.
Like
that-
Golden Girls? Golden Grams?
They're dead, right? 3 of them.
The Goldbergs?
Are they? I can't.
No,
keep-
Bet-
Three
Betty-
out of 4 is dead. Betty White's
Betty
the only
White's
one.
still
they
kicking.
live on in my heart.
But there's like a few other series that were 1 or 2 seasons of on Netflix that didn't continue. But now I'm like, oh, maybe they'll fucking revisit that shit. Hopefully.
I read an interesting article about why they greenlight shows and don't. And it's just a ton of different algorithms they use to determine.
no doubt.
Oh, for Netflix?
Yeah.
But anime in general is different. It's always been that way until relatively recently. It's always been 1 or 2 seasons of an anime, of an unfinished manga, and you're just supposed to continue in the manga. They would never had plans to make any more.
Did infinite universe theory? There's supposed to be infinite possibilities, right? So every possibility is possible, with the exception, obviously, of
the one where it's
appeasing
not-
all
yeah.
Star Wars fans. Dude, you know what just appealed to me? The universe where Sex and the City came out in the 80s, and Golden Girls is the sequel series to it in the 2000s.
Why can't that be headcanon? Mind blown.
Whoa.
Chris is like Space Cat right now.
Whoa. So when did Sex and the City come out? Did it come out in the 90s?
Maybe late
90s,
90s.
Mid to late 90s, yeah. Somewhere in there.
So, I mean, how old were those girls then? Were they in their mid 30s? So they're all in their 50s now already.
Just make a Golden Girl series?
Let's just wait 20 more years and see what happens. You thought she had a horse face at 40. You thought she had a horse face at 60.
Now
You
she's
thought she had a
she's just the whole mule.
Matthew Broderick brings his steed
Riding in on his...
with her very long teeth.
Faithful Steve. She said that was Steve. Did anybody watch Coming to America real quick before we...
The second one?
I
No.
need to watch it.
I
I'm going to
haven't
watch it tonight. It's going to be so terrible.
I should probably watch the first one.
You never seen the first one?
I don't think so.
What?
What? I grew up in Alabama in the 80s.
I mean, you would have thought you would have seen it in the 90s.
time then.
You would have thought you would have seen it between then and now.
I have not.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I'll send it home
I've
with
seen
you.
it. He has a disc, I'm sure.
You don't want to... I mean, it's
I'm
amazing.
I'm not going to put a disc in a hole. I'll find it streaming.
All right.
I wonder, have you
Not
watched it?
everything is streaming. I guess on your
Hold my beer.
on your illegal bootleg
I don't know what
means.
you're talking about.
I'm a pirate.
I don't want to.
Goddamn
I don't want to
pirate.
stain my time in the film industry.
If
with
you
this
guys want to be
pirate
pirates, you're
talk.
gonna have to start cutting legs off. I'm not going for this bullshit anymore. You guys are pirate larpers.
We got somebody on the team that. do that.
Habits.
Maya.
Maya. Sorry. God damn it. I try to navigate all this shit so well.
It's hard to keep it all in
know.
track.
And I lost whatever point I was getting to, so that's okay.
Coming to America.
Oh, I don't remember what I was saying about it.
You haven't watched the first one. You should
Oh,
watch
I've
the
never.
first one
I've
before you
never.
watch the second
Yeah,
one.
I was not just.
I think
I wasn't
think
a
the
huge
second one
Eddie
was
Murphy fan when I was a kid. I didn't. I think it was over my head, to be honest.
But you were older than us.
But have you watched?
Oh, but he was from Alabama.
Yeah, we were 5 years behind. They were still
I think
sitting.
your
in the,
sense and sensibilities are different as well.
Think of Eddie Murphy as the Venn diagram of actors.
When's the last time you saw the first Coming to America? I'm just wondering how it holds up, culturally.
Last year, because remember,
Okay.
the kids and I watched.
That's right.
All
You
those
and I.
Eddie Murphy movies during the COVID times. So Coming to America was never my favorite. I think that Beverly Hills Cop 2, 48 Hours is good, but it's not funny in the same way. It's
Yeah.
like a good movie.
And it's also like a gritty cop movie, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
then
as good as Nutty Professor, though.
And then I love The Golden Child, but I know that I'm in the minority with that. But it's just like, I mean, I'm willing to take you to task on it. You know what I mean? But like, I fucking love that movie. But it's because he did all these like gritty cop and kind of real world things. And this was like a more mystical story that like most Eddie Murphy fans were like corny.
Right.
You know, but it was fucking great.
You know, my favorite Eddie Murphy movie is Norbit.
Norbit.
That's actually pretty good.
Are you wearing bottoms? Of course I'm wearing bottoms.
That's pretty good because he actually like that had a little bit of a bite to it. Whereas a lot of movies that he did around that time had gotten soft, like Nutty Professor and Daddy Daycare, and he did like
Doolittle?
That's
Dr.
not- yeah,
Doolittle.
Dr. Doolittle
And Daddy Daycare.
Yeah, so like
Hey, listen,
Dr. Doolittle's good.
the man made his money.
yeah. So does Nutty Professor.
Speaking of Dr. Doolittle, Do you guys realize right before? I remember when I was in New York in February last year, there were posters up everywhere for the Robert Downey Jr.
They watched it. My wife and kids watched it.
I don't.
Dr. Dolittle.
I forgot that existed until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, my wife and kids watched it.
So I watched something I guess about it, the worst movies of 2020, and that was one of them.
Yeah, they said it was trash. Like all three of them
Crazy.
were like in unison, like not good.
But that's like.
Did you show them the?
And how long ago did they watch it?
Eddie Murphy though.
So they saw that just prior.
Oh.
And I can't help but think that maybe it tainted their vision.
Tainted meat. I don't know. That seemed to like just vanish. Like, it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah. I mean, people stopped giving a fuck about entertainment when they were worried about dying.
Or not being able to go to the theater to watch it.
Yeah, that too.
I watched a bunch of horror movies. Hellraiser 5 is one of the better ones.
So just so I'm clear, once again, I've never seen any of the Hellraiser movies. I know what they are. I know the characters.
You can watch it without ever watching any other Hellraiser.
Well, I don't find that kind of stuff interesting. I never have, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a big horror fan. It's not that I'm not bothered by it. I just think it's dumb.
You're not interested in
I think it's dumb.
2 fucked me up as a kid. Like I remember seeing 2 as a kid, like with this
with the labyrinth and shit.
But just like the very beginning, like that meat suit, you know, when they don't.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, man, I was like 7. I was like, I'm out. You know?
Like when you watch those as a kid, like watching it now is funny, but watching Hellraiser 1 and 2 as a kid is fucking awful.
And my mom was like, "Nigga, sit and watch it." I was like, "Okay."
There are great practical effects. On the first 2 movies,
and like she was like bloody, like she was like bloody footprints,
like
she
it
was
would like seep through the clothes
Yeah.
that she was wearing. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, he sees bugs on him because he's in the mental institute. Right?
Okay.
He doesn't know bugs on him, and the guy hands him a knife. He just starts fucking cutting his skin off. Because he sees.
Is this in the 5th one?
Second one.
Yeah.
Oh, but sorry. Let me go back to you watched a bunch of horror movies, and the best one.
The best Hellraiser.
I thought
So
you were
far.
saying the best of the group of movies you were
No,
watching.
no.
The best Hellraiser or one of
One of the best.
The 5th one?
I still
Because
love
there's 10, 11 of them.
Is there really?
Yes, but I don't count the last 2 or 3 because they didn't have Doug Bradley as Pinhead anymore. So like, I watched those still, but
there were that many. I thought there was like 5.
So the first 3 is chronologically is the same story, like you follow the same group of people, and from 4 on it's like individual stories, standoff stories.
Okay.
Same universe still, but like you don't have to watch the other ones. 1, 2, 3 you kind of have to watch together. But 5 is one of the better ones. 3 was goddamn awful. It was hard to sit through, other than making myself laugh at how bad it was.
I can't believe it.
Don't Listen. It's another movie we watched. It's European. I don't know what European country it is because I watched it in dub. Because Netflix is great with having dubbed movies, and voice acting is great. But I think it's only a horror movie if you're a white person, because if you're not a white person, you wouldn't do any of these things that these
Is it
people
about
are
like
doing.
having a bad credit score and stuff?
It's about not leaving when you should.
Were they returning expired produce?
Bro, I have nightmares about that. Fucking dude, the neighborhood I work in is open pack of chocolates. I didn't like the way this tastes. I want to return it. I'm like, suck a dick.
What if all
This
of
is
the
for real.
available
People are fucking
milk
crazy.
gallons had the expiration date within a week? That's a white nightmare.
I mean, I kind of had a panic moment when we keep milk on deck, but like there was, this gallon expires in 2 days. I wonder if we can drink it, because the date's pretty arbitrary, to be honest. But
Yeah,
Somehow-
as long as it keeps frozen.
did you know that those gallons, the milk's not all from one cow?
Yeah. Yes. Hello? Are you serious?
No.
Okay.
Sometimes
But y'all paused. Y'all paused.
yeah.
Because it's a crazy ass question. Like,
sometimes
Just single origin milk.
sometimes I get the impression from
Because single origin coffee is like one plant, one bean.
right.
You should ask that next time you go somewhere that seems bougie. Do you have single origin milk?
sometimes
Freshly squeezed.
Sometimes I get the impression
That first dude that had milk was weird as fuck, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the first guy who made cheese. Like,
Oh God.
dude, there's some experimental people out there, and
I
some
mean,
of
it's
them,
great for us now.
But that's my question. Like, some of them have worked out great, right? Like we ended up
Like
getting shit
LSD.
like cheese and
Oh,
LSD
okay, yes,
and,
cheese.
and you know, like
Popcorn.
Yeah, but I want to know about the ones that went left. I want somebody to compile them.
Salmon popsicle.
I mean, we got there's shrimp chips at my house right now. So
I love
that's
shrimp
not,
chips.
That's not far off.
Yeesh.
It's probably something they have in Japan. The
Yes,
salmon
Asian
popsicle.
land.
I had
Oh,
these
no, salmon.
chicken soup crackers recently. Have you ever?
Oh yeah,
Chicken in a
they
biscuit?
like, yeah, chicken
Yeah.
biscuit.
You've never had
they're
those?
like greasy, right?
They fucked me up. I was like,
It's
this
like-
tastes
like chicken.
They're
like chicken soup.
Yeah.
like it tastes like I've dipped it in the broth. It fucked me
You've
up.
never had a chicken
No.
in a biscuit?
This is not new technology, by the way.
Well,
We've had this since we were kids.
I tell you, it was more impressive to me than most things I see that are, it works better than my Bluetooth.
Are you sure the antenna wasn't extended? Dude, Crystal got a new computer. I don't know if you know. She got a brand new gaming computer, like fucking $3,000 computer for streaming and shit. And she was like, this is bullshit. I spent all this money. It's a great, perfect computer, but the Bluetooth wouldn't work. And like, I went and bloop, and plugged out the antenna of the Bluetooth, and it worked.
That's weird to have an antenna.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it extends the range.
So they should put that like on the. I'm giving her some bail. They should put that on a big sticker on the box. Like, look, this is the only Bluetooth in America that requires you to activate an antenna. It's located in the upper right-hand corner of the monitor.
I think it's standard for computers.
My computer has Bluetooth. It doesn't have an antenna.
I mean, my phone has Bluetooth.
Yeah,
and
but
it
that's
doesn't have an
built in.
antenna.
It's different. Yeah, that one has an antenna. I looked at it. I was like,
I don't know. That's strange.
Strange.
you guys are like, no.
Yeah, I'm giving her-
chicken biscuits are great. Bluetooth antennas, trash.
So yes, I agree with that. However, they are both strange.
What?
Chicken biscuits
hang on.
are strange.
No.
Yeah.
To who?
To me.
I mean, a lot of things are strange about me,
that's
to be
fine.
fair.
Having a cookie that tastes like chicken noodle soup is strange.
I mean, like,
Okay, now you said a chicken biscuit. I thought you were referring to like a fluffy biscuit with a chicken breast inside.
Oh, no. That's amazing.
Because you said that.
I'm sorry. I'm
no,
sorry.
they're like
I'm-
crackers. They come in a box.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what they
okay,
are.
yeah,
I'm very
yeah,
familiar
yeah.
with
I was talking
chicken in a
about
biscuit.
those.
I was also in the grocery industry, Joseph.
Along with the movie industry.
but
the
not
film
the
industry.
soda industry.
No, I'm just a casual observer.
But thanks to you, fucking Laura, your wife.
Oh, thanks for clearing up who she was.
You know, like
Your cousin,
Casey, your
yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
I ate an entire 2 fucking packs of Oreos.
The strawberry donut ones.
Dude, it's fucked my diet. I got
They're good though.
yes, too good.
I haven't
And
had-
now when I
I
go
haven't had
limited
those.
edition, let me buy 3 packs. I fucking ate 2 of them in the last 3 days.
Yeah, they're good. I had they were supposed to be for the kids. I had a sleeve easily.
Right. So like they might go
Hey,
out.
let
they might
me-
go out
let-
soon.
let me
I
get-
fucking I hate going out.
Yeah.
I fucking drove to Wegmans that night to get some
Nice.
fucking Oreos.
Hey man, let me get a row of them Oreos.
Sleeve.
A row? The whole, yeah. What is it like 12? Yeah. 12,
You
motherfucker.
sharing or not?
Nah. You said share, and that leaves you 2/3 of the pack.
You know what I was wondering? I meant to bring this up as an intro conversation. Did you grow up under the confines of don't take that outside unless you can feed the neighborhood? Like, I definitely grew up with that. Like, I wasn't allowed to take food outside. Like, it wasn't allowed.
Never heard of that.
Really?
I mean, I know of that.
Matter of
rule.
fact, I remember times it just were, hey, here's your lunch. It was brought outside so we could stay outside and play.
Yeah, like that was like like
Now, I didn't grow up in a people everywhere neighborhood.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's
in Alabama.
did.
right where you're from. Maybe that's it. Like,
People
like
just went home for lunchtime, though. We just went home for lunchtime. We never had.
I mean,
So-
what,
so-
what
so
was
do-
going to happen? Was it because it was rude?
yeah, because it was rude.
That was the thing we worried about. Was being rude about not sharing our peanut butter sandwich.
Well, it was like
Or
if-
whatever
like,
weird
you
ass
gave me,
ketchup
you had,
bag
a
you were eating.
popsicle. Like you either brought popsicles out for everybody,
Oh.
or you stayed inside and had the popsicle. Like you don't take your food outside unless you got enough to feed the neighborhood.
See, I knew
but that's
people like
an
that.
aggregate number. What if your neighbor's
It's-
entire family
it's like
from
but it's
Asia?
more like a saying. So it's like if you had 4 friends outside,
Mm-hmm.
you got to take something for all 4 friends. Not like for the guy mowing the grass across the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well-
sometimes they're just too bad. Like the ice cream truck rolled up, and I have a fucking quarter, and you don't. Sorry.
Yeah, but see, I still
Would you let them lick the wrapper?
you my my grandma would still say bring that inside to eat it. Like I couldn't like eat it like like the Eddie Murphy shit. Like I got some ice cream, and you ain't got none because your family's on the welfare. They're on the welfare. Like I wasn't allowed to do that. I had to go inside but I was just wondering because like kids don't really play too much outside a whole lot anymore, and I was wondering if it was like if anybody had any.
Would you
ideas
say
for
that
whether or not
to your kids if they walked outside with a popsicle?
Yeah, definitely. They're not allowed. I mean, they've come in and been like, "Can I take a snack outside?" I'm like, no, not. You're playing with friends outside. Like, you're gonna take food for all of them. Like,
I think that's an older rule that doesn't. Really,
well, I hate.
you got raised by your grandma, so you're gonna follow that shit.
Yeah,
I understood.
yeah,
Understood, but I don't think that's common now.
Well, there you go.
I feel want to eat it, kind of thing. I get the point.
There's a weird emphasis on that. Yeah. But Garden of Eden. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Gonjiam. It's a Korean horror movie. The Haunted Asylum is on Hulu. That one's pretty good if you're into horror. I know there are some people into horror that listen to the show. I know, Chris, you don't care. But
No, I mean, honestly, like, that would probably be more interesting than... And when I say horror movies, I don't...
I mean, there's a haunted...
Like, the classic horror tropes, like, I just think those are dumb. I mean, I like the characters. I think the characters are neat and, like... Any of the slasher movies, like,
for the 80s stuff, I mean, those character designs are great. I mean, that's why they endure 30 years from now. Like, there's a lot that hasn't, like,
and I think that even like some of the stories, like the Jason story isn't great, but the Michael Myers story is actually pretty cool to me, and then the Freddy Krueger story is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
because like he like makes a deal
and his
with
powers.
The
Cool. It's unique. It's not just like
he's not a guy with a knife. Yeah.
The Chucky one is stupid. You know, it's like some voodoo. You know, but like it's like 50-50 to me. I feel you though. I see where you're coming from.
But the designs are cool.
Yeah, the designs are all. I mean, all of those like classic 80s. Like it's almost like there's two generations of classic 80s, like classic horror monsters. There's like the Universal, Frankenstein, Dracula, Mummy shit.
It's like older.
Yeah,
like, that's
Gen, but that's what I'm saying. And then that's ours.
Yes.
And then there's like
a second tier, like Critters.
Well,
Puppet Master?
Even Gremlins.
Puppet Master get the little dolls. One of them has a fucking drill on his head. Phantasm.
Yeah.
So this isn't probably the show for it, but what would be the modern...
We don't have anything new anymore. It's the 2000s. We ran out of ideas.
The Nun? Is that...
Yeah.
That's based on a true story from 1973 or whatever, though.
Everything's based on
but
a
it's
true
still
story.
an Annabelle. Annabelle would be in that
Annabelle,
pocket.
yeah. And honestly,
it's a recognizable figure.
I'm thinking of the
Saw.
shit
Saw.
Mezco puts out. Yeah,
Saw,
so
pig and tricycle.
Yes.
yeah.
I replaced. I replaced the liquid in your glass with the blood of a three-toed saw.
You know what? I think I tapped out after three of those because it got to be a bit
me
much.
too.
Yeah, well, so like there's.
But he said they get better after that.
No, well, yeah, because so there's like it's weird. I had to go back and
It's a roller
one and
coaster
two
ride.
was like.
I'd have to go back and watch
Great.
them, but like I think it's like 1 and 2 are great. 3 is bad, and then 4 and 5 are great. And actually, 4 and 5 make 3 better because it ends up 3 ends up being from like a different perspective.
I did
you
end
just
up
don't
watching.
realize it.
I did end up watching to see that because I was like, oh, that makes sense. What do you guys think about the Hostel movies?
I wasn't a big fan.
I wasn't a big fan either.
Slasher. I mean, I watched one, but I was
My favorite scene, I think it's in the second one. Like one of the dudes, he gets in there with the girl he's gonna kill, and he can't do it. He like just cuts her, and he freaks out. And then like the people who work at this place are knocking on the door. Hey, got some damaged merchandise that's not quite done next door. Would you be interested for a discount? Like shopping this girl around. Shopping this girl around, more like it. That's it right there.
But yeah, I think that those all fit. I think that if I was to pick one that was like the crossover between the modern and ours, it would be the Scream guy.
Oh yeah,
Scream guy.
Like he's like the stepping
face is
stone
like
from one to the other.
Yeah.
And then there's more like game ones. I'm not like Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head is very
with that big weapon.
Yeah, with a giant.
And then the nurse from Resident, the bubblehead nurse.
Yeah,
from Resident
like
Evil.
with
Some
her
of it's the
face all
video
ate
game
up.
shit.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, yeah.
Pyramid has some Silent Hill. Silent Hill's great.
Oh, I just thought of something.
What about Momo? Who remembers Momo?
I'm sorry.
The YouTube creepy chick that people are...
Oh, the chicken bird lady.
Yeah, right?
I forgot all that.
Right?
That fucks Selena up. She was like, what is it? She's all like, it was like,
it's awful.
What is that?
It died real quick, though.
It did.
Oh, I remember you're talking about iconic characters. I guess it would be the new version of Pennywise.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I would say the old too.
Oh,
I would say
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I would say both.
Both versions are iconic.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
But none of the... Oh, you think they all look alike, but the Benicio, not the Benicio del Toro.
Oh, the Pan's Labyrinth.
The eye guy.
Yeah, all those. Yeah,
I say they all look alike. Like all the kaijus, you can't tell them apart. I could tell them apart, but most people can't.
Right.
From Pacific Rim. There's
I was going to ask you
if
if
you're
you
an anime series.
It's up.
Is it good?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I saw it was up.
It looks like the same style as the Godzilla movies, which I like. There's 3 Godzilla 3D anime movies on Netflix that were great.
I saw somebody pulled their Phase Life Pacific Rim
Back
figures
out?
back out and took pictures with them because of that show. Mine are in a box somewhere. They're on phase hold right now.
Yeah.
And then lastly, watched Cube 2 to Hypercube, and Cube 0.
So I remember Cube from the film industry. That's a fucked up movie.
It's a great movie.
But it's a fucked up story.
I've never seen it.
I never even heard of it.
But Cube, so
Are they still in the cube all 3 times?
different cubes. But
Okay.
skip Cube 2, Hypercube is fucking god awful. Cube 0, which is a prequel, is great. So Cube, let me tell you
no
guys.
calories.
You give Bobby the
Ice
it's been a
Cube
long
0.
time.
Can you imagine a lean Ice Cube?
Oh, Ice Cube on lean?
Like,
No,
Purple.
no, wait. Lean ice cubes. So, like, that's something that I feel like I probably would have ended up trying had I been born in a different generation.
Oh, cough syrup, promethazine, mixed with the Sprite.
that still haunting me. But like for a period of time, it fucking made my job awful.
Right. Yeah.
Just nonstop people coming in trying to fucking give me fake scripts and calling and asking if I have fucking the shit in stock.
Yeah. No, I think that I probably just from the show stuff that I was involved in, like the scene, that it probably just would have made its way across my desk at some point, and I would have partook. So good for me for being born in 1980.
Flex.
Yeah, I don't know if that is or not.
Fucking 80s babies over here.
Yeah.
Bicentennial or bust. I don't know. I was born in 76.
Bicentennial Man, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know who was in the movie, but I know that
he played a robot.
Right.
Is that the one you played?
That's the one, right?
I saw somebody the other day.
I never watched the movie.
I don't remember the gag. I remember
that
Vision and him in the same picture.
The video cover box.
Do you remember?
I keep seeing it at Blockbuster. I remember that.
Do you remember when Robin Williams, probably one of the creepiest roles he ever played, 1 Hour Photo?
Dude,
yep, I own that movie.
When he was the actual villain, I was like, oh, he can play a villain.
Yeah, that was
I mean, he was great in the Final Cut. Also.
Could you imagine being like?
That was Robin Williams too, right?
In what?
Final Cut.
Yeah, I think that was.
That was like everyone in the future has implants in their brain. So like when you die, they can.
Oh, next week you mean?
Yeah, they can edit a video from your POV, like a memorial video. So like this guy scrubs through people's memories to piece together.
Oh my gosh!
And then he sees all the awful things people do, and he has to like pretend he doesn't.
So
essentially,
it's a fucking
great movie.
Well, that basically kind of leads into what I was asking. Could you imagine of being like the guy at the 1 Hour Photo during like the 80s and 90s? Like I always wondered, what do they? I like, are nudes okay?
They're
Implied
not. I
nudes?
didn't get. There was a lot.
I know somebody
somebody
who got nudes back, but they said the trick was you have to send it off. You don't do the 1 hour in-house processing.
Oh no, I got the negative. I got the negatives back, but not the photos. I remember that. Like I had to click, wind up cameras, and then you press the button, go, and you can flash. I took many nude pics on those, and then not off myself, of other people, but like they didn't come back. I assumed they developed them and just kept them, is what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, that's...
Well, at least run yourself off a copy. Like, what's in that binder? Just my collection.
There was this...
other people's
nudes.
There was this comedian named Jeremy Hotz, Hotz.
Yes, I was going to ask if it had a Z.
And a dude was funny as shit, but he never like went anywhere. But he had like a great like stage kind of presence. Like he was kind of creepy, like kind of hung over the mic like this. And he was like, he would always like just start talking about random shit. Like there was like he was like, you ever ask for the dentist for your pictures of the teeth? He won't give it to you. It's fucking strange. Like, you know, like that.
I like that kind of act. That's why I like Mitch.
What does he do?
Mitch Hedberg.
What does he do with them? You know, like that's how and he's like hunched over like a gargoyle over the mic. You know, it's pretty interesting, dude. Anyway,
if I ever need to name a kid, I'm just gonna find a friend with a broken arm. No, nothing.
I don't remember this.
That's the whole bit. That's the whole joke. Nick, if I ever need to name a kid, I'm going to find a friend with a broken arm. Because what's all over their cast?
Names.
Oh, okay.
That's a Hedberg bit.
Yeah, that's a thinker.
Do people still get cast nowadays? Or are we in the future now where they have like...
What was his name?
Mitch Hedberg.
He died.
He had like the stringly hair.
Yeah.
And the glasses. When he looked down.
Yeah. And that's why, because this was kind of his.
Yeah. I remember he said one time, he was like, I used to work at a fire hydrant plant. Couldn't park anywhere near the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put brick wallpaper on my brick walls so people touch it and go, wow, it feels real.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his whole bit.
Yeah, one-liners. Like, just fucking crazy off the one-liners.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Cube.
Yes.
Yes, you were going to explain that.
1997 was when the first movie came out. 2003 was when the second movie came out, the awful one, and then the third one was 2004. And this year, in 2021, there's going to be a Japanese remake of the first movie.
I bet you that'll be
in
hard,
October. But yeah, the first one and the third one, the prequel is great. But yeah, so this a bunch of people wake up with no memories inside a cube-shaped room. Mm-hmm. All the walls are identical. So there's hatches on all 6 sides, and when you open it, it goes to another cube that looks just the same, but some of them have fucked up traps in them. So one guy jumps in and he gets hosed down with acid.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then it's the story of following them, how they try to get out, and maybe trying to find out why they're there.
That sounds interesting.
The third one it starts off with a really good fucking practical effect of a guy like fucking getting melted with acid, but it was really well done. Like it was off-puttingly well done. And I think that's it.
Nice. Chris?
Other than the usual?
We're at 56 minutes in. We don't have any notes, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured that's why I was like, let's just fucking chat.
Yeah.
So I finished BVS, the extended cut. I was about halfway through last time.
Correct.
Finished that up. My wife hates that movie.
Yeah.
Which
She
movie?
does not like BVS. Even the extended cut, she doesn't like it.
But for any, is there something that fucks with her about it, or that she doesn't enjoy specifically, or
just
generally just not her.
Generally doesn't like it, and she likes a lot of superhero movies. She couldn't get into that at all.
Yeah.
I watched a DC animated film that I'm going to tell you, Bobby. If you haven't bought,
I probably
this,
own it.
You should probably not, because it was probably the worst one I've seen.
Oh, really?
It's called Soul of the Dragon.
No, I don't have that. Oh wait, this is like it's like 70s kind of.
It's got this whole 70s vibe
yeah,
to
I'm not
it.
buying that.
He's barely Batman at all in the whole thing.
Yeah,
it's more about and it's Bruce goes somewhere in Asia for some training with some guru. Yeah, but it's all I think there's one Asian girl and everybody else is American. That's there.
Icy water.
And this has been years, and there's some magical something.
Yeah. It kind of looks like Enter the Dragon.
And it's just like, I will say the first time this one Asian character did a martial arts move, I will tell you the music they played when that happened made me slightly uncomfortable.
A little too
it's a little too on. It's probably time period accurate, but there's a movie on Hulu called Boss Level. It's got, I believe his name, the guy who played Crossbones in the Marvel movies, Frank Grillo, maybe.
Okay. So
it's kind of like a most fucked up version of Groundhog Day, because he wakes up and people are swinging knives at him every day, every time. But he retains his. Yeah, in Groundhog Day, he remembered, right? He remembered.
Yeah.
So he remembers everything, and so it's literally like playing a video game. It's like watching somebody play a video, because after you've played this fucking boss level for 200 times, 3 steps duck to the left. So he's doing all this, and he gets a little further and further and figures out. And it's a very contrived, particle accelerator something, but it's got that guy, Frank Grillo, who's recognizable. Mel Gibson's in it, in not a huge role. I think it's Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts?
Maybe. I may have the wrong actress. I recognize the lead female actress. Oh, and then Will Sasso is in it.
Will Sasso from
in
Mad
a series.
TV?
In a series, he's like the
Drop
big,
Dead Gorgeous.
He's like the big security guard guy.
I want a big bag of little donuts.
But it's worth a watch. It's super duper entertaining. It's only like an hour and a half.
Did you watch Edge of Tomorrow? With Tom Cruise.
No.
If you like,
I was going to, but I was a little short on time.
Dude, I just remember. I'm sorry, but the Drop Dead Gorgeous shit.
He totally didn't.
All I can think about is that fucking that you said his name is he was a mentally ridiculous character, and then they're doing the interviews with people, and the one lady was like, "The Tard's pants are completely off," and they cut back over to him, and he's like.
You can't have that now.
I know. Dude would never fly.
Speaking of Will Sasso,
yeah.
have you guys ever seen the I'm going to say like 2009, 2010. Oh, what's the name of it? I just slipped out of my mind. The Three Stooges movie.
No,
It's got Will Sasso.
I remember it now, but I didn't watch it.
It's got Will Sasso, the guy who played Jack on Will and Grace. What's his name? His friend, not Willard.
Not the main guy.
Yeah, but you know, his sidekick friend.
And he has a son.
And he's always played the same role. Yeah, he's in it. And then the guy who plays Mo is just some dude I've never seen before in my life. Like Sofia Vergara's in it, and it's awful. It is like
It
one of the
sounds like
worst
it would be
movies I've
awful, I'll
ever
be honest
seen in
with
my
you.
life.
I mean, it started off strong. It's like Will Sasso, well, he's funny.
Yeah.
And then it's all downhill from there.
But yeah, Boss Level, check it out. It's fun.
And also check out Edge of Tomorrow.
Is it similar in?
And theme, yeah. If you like
Okay.
sci-fi movies, I think you would like it. It's a
fine.
fun romp, a high budget version of that.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean there wasn't much in this that was. He gets killed. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
But it starts over immediately when he dies. So it's just like, and sometimes he'll like, oh well, this is as far as I want to get on this one, and he'll kill himself and start back over. But it's like, and Rob, I don't know if you guys know who Rob Gronkowski is. He's a football player.
Yeah.
He's in it. He's like a machine gunner in a tank that's literally in it every day. It's pretty crazy. I watched AEW wrestling had a pay-per-view last
The
night.
real stuff. The real sports.
No, the predetermined stunt work. So it was a really good show. I thought this was interesting. So one of the main guys on there, his wife's pregnant, so they have to write him off for a while, so he can go be with her. And the write off, and everybody knew he was in an exploding barbed wire death match. It's a famous thing they've done in Japan a lot. I think it's only the second time they've done it
in Japan. Where else?
So the end of it is he gets beat, and there's a countdown, guys, and they can't stop the countdown. And basically what they had done is the ropes had barbed wire on them, and if they touched the barbed wire, there was some sort of tripwire there, and some sort of fireworks and smoke happened, and it looked really cool, but whatever. And this timer was counting down, and once it went off, the entire ring's going to explode. So these two guys are in the middle of the ring, not face down, waiting on this explosion to happen. And I swear to God, guys, with $28 at the fireworks stand, we could have done a better job. Damn. It was like sparklers on the corners of the ring. And the commentators was like, oh, my God, they're trying to sell it. Oh, yeah. And like the two guys in the ring, I'm like, I feel so sorry for those guys. Because they're acting like they're dying here and nothing's happening. Oh, it's so awkward.
It sounds awkward. It sounds like something you would laugh at.
Yeah, well, I watched a little bit of wrestling recently. It was like on somewhere where I was, and they had like screens all over it for like the people,
so
like the audience.
That's WWE. It's
like,
the Thunderdome.
It's like people's faces like on screens, like all around.
Most sports do that now, like indoor sports.
Like it was just crazy to see. Like, I don't know. I think I'd prefer, like, just like we talked about here when we talked about the basketball situation, and they were like putting in the fake crowd and all that shit. I'm like, look, this is the
same technology, actually.
This is the one time when you can actually record these guys talking shit to each other the entire game, and we're not gonna listen in.
Oh yeah, you don't want to listen in.
I don't 100% want to listen in.
They don't.
They don't want you to hear.
No,
They don't want you to listen in. But yeah, actually, AEW runs in Florida. So, no rules. I'm just kidding.
No, Texas is the one that's no rules.
The guy who owns the company, his family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars also, and there's like an amphitheater that they run wrestling out of, and they actually was the most people they had, but they had everybody spaced out in the crowd and everything, like pods, like they did for some of the other sports things.
Gotcha.
But it was interesting to watch wrestling with actual crowd noise. It wasn't pumped in.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I didn't really have much going on this week. Just, grinding away, and work's been hectic, and that's really it.
I actually consumed a fair bit of media this week. So, like, I watched this Showtime documentary about this Saudi journalist that was, like, abducted. I remember it being in the news. Like, he was a Saudi journalist. He ended up working in the States, like, for the Washington Post or something. And he was heavy on anything that affected Saudi Arabia. And, like, 9/11 happened during that time. And there's all that talk about, like, most of the hijackers were Saudis, and Bin Laden was a Saudi, and like, do you remember like that was like a thing, like we all had this beef with Afghanistan, right? But like 17 out of the 19 hijackers were fucking Saudis.
I know of that part.
So like it was like that stuff was like in the ether, and then like the Saudi Arabian leadership changed at a certain point. And then also, like the Arab Spring, like going into that, like I remember that was the thing, like with Egypt and all that. Like I remember all of that in the ether. But this guy was kind of covering it all. He went back to like Saudi Arabia, like after the leadership changed over there. And I'm also like, to be fair, I'm painting dioramas and shit while I'm watching this, so I'm not 100% focused. But yeah, I mean they chopped him. I mean they abduct him.
Like it was him and his like a lady, and he went in, and then he never came out.
Came
that
out.
one, yeah.
And
it's a wild ass story,
dude. And like when they were talking,
they had the security cam and everything.
When the people were like going to like like Senate floor hearings or whatever, like trying to get the states to like get involved, they were like, "We have a smoking gun." This one guy was like, "We have a smoking gun." No, pardon me, we don't have a smoking gun. We have a smoking saw. I was like, "Oh my god!" But like, it was a great documentary.
They have this month, I think, come out and said that all signs point to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia called for that hit.
Yeah,
and like,
I mean, they point that way in this documentary.
Yeah, there's going to be, and that may very well be what led to this, but
but also like it also makes you realize how futile. Like why I don't bother with this shit. I'm like, yeah, I already know everything's corrupt and nothing gets done when there's awful atrocity being committed. So like, I just don't rather not know about it.
Yeah. To me, is like I get that, but it's also
it's like I don't like I know that, but I don't want to know that.
Right, I get that. I think for me, I think what drags me into that is the global chess game of it. I find fascinating. Like, we're going to turn a blind eye to this because we have this, and this because he has this, awful. And of course it is. But like, it's like everything escalated on a global scale. Like that, everybody. I mean, a lot of people do in some way, shape, or form, right? Like obviously, most of us don't have anything that ends up with people hacked to pieces with a fucking saw.
Exactly.
But, you take like the little thing that you do at work to like get out of that one little shitty, you know what I mean? And then you turn that up to 2,000, and you get shit like this with real fucking consequences. I also watched this 4-part Reagan. Okay.
What did hit me on my radar that I just put on my list though? Something about documentaries on Netflix. Mormon Murders.
It's on my list.
Okay.
It's on my list.
You didn't watch it yet, right?
I watched 3 episodes.
How is it so far? How many episodes are there?
Great.
Okay, that's my tomorrow background noise.
Great.
Yes, cult. I'm sorry, Mormons, but I love cult shit,
dude. So we know a Mormon, and I would love to talk to that individual.
We know a light bringer, and you haven't talked to what?
Well, because he's acting all coy. A
Mormon friend might be acting coy too.
Nah, he's pretty open about it. So like,
I don't know if he's that open about it, but we will see after he.
So him and I have had some conversations about it.
Enough for us to not mention his name.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't.
Right.
That's out of courtesy.
Yeah.
But like him and I hung out on my front steps one time, and like we went all through it was like one of.
There's a one-on-one friend thing though.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. I want to have that one-on-one conversation, not here.
No. In my head, Bobby, everything's always content for you.
Yeah, no, not everything.
You and fucking Krista both. God
no.
It.
This was just personal curiosity.
Yeah.
Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Type of deal. That's what I'm talking about here. But. There was something else I feel like I was going to say.
You were talking about Reagan, but it derailed you with the Mormon.
Yeah, there was something I feel like I was going to say about the Mormons too, but it doesn't matter. No, the light, the
light bringer,
the light bringer,
whatever.
Yeah, so I had I used to make this sandwich. It was like basically we like it was just some cheap shit that we like would pull some money. I'd be like, dude, I bet you I could hook something up if we can pull some money together, and so we go to like the store and get like a whole bunch of like turkey lunch meat and like cheese, and like come back, and I would use like condiments, whatever we had, and eventually I stumbled upon this English muffin with mayonnaise on the bottom, turkey, cheese, and then mustard on the top.
Oh, sounds great.
And we started calling it they started calling it the Bobo Surprise because it was. So like I used to make them all the time. Like, dude, we have look at the, because everybody usually had like a little bit of turkey or a little bit of, like it was like shit that was like a lot of times was laying around, and a buddy of mine was like, so I made one for myself the other day because I happened to have the ingredients because that's how it got made, And I sent him a picture of it, and he was like, dude. He was like the budget meal of the decade. So he wrote back to me. But so I'm softening the waters. I'm trying to get him to come on and talk about it a bit. I told you he called me on inauguration day.
No.
He called me on inauguration day, like just to tell me like he loved me and shit, like because he didn't know, like because with the Circle of Light and how they felt about what was going on, he wasn't sure how things were going to go, so he was trying to be a good friend. And, so I respect it.
Good meaning.
Correct.
Well-meaning.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I watched this thing on Reagan, which made me want to listen to that pod, which I think I did actually listen to that you suggested.
The 2-parter.
Yeah, because it had that one comedian on there, right? It's like a special guest, I think.
Probably. Who was that guy that was on there a lot? I don't know. I think about that podcast a lot, that particular
series.
Uh-huh.
So this one was really good also.
Where was...
Is this on Showtime?
Oh, Showtime.
And,
fancy. Who knew?
And it's amazing, but like the
do they still show like titty movies at night? On
so I don't know. I haven't looked into it
because
because
it was Skinamax.
It's the same company.
I think. Yeah. So I think that like what was fascinating to me is like this whole period where like the Iran Contra shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how that shit got out?
Remind me. I've heard it before.
Yeah.
He said it. He said it in a debate. Like he was having a debate, like a presidential election debate. And he basically said that he did it. And like the debate host was like, wait a minute. Pause. Time out. Are you implying that you're trading weapons for people? And he was like, no. But it was indicative of him because he had like dementia type.
He had dementia the whole time he was in office.
So but that was like the most outright indicative thing that it was heading south, right?
But it wasn't bad enough for him not to get a second term.
He won, and that's the debate.
Landslide.
So like they started talking about like when they dig up like this one guy that Nancy fired after it all came out about the Iran Contra shit. He wrote a book like as soon as he got out, like, and he was like high up military.
Oliver North.
Yes, but I don't know if it was Oliver North or the other guy. It was two guys they fired at the same time or wanted to fire.
That was a porn star.
No, that's Peter North.
Peter North, okay.
Huge spread on that dude.
World record distance.
That dude, he shoots the club up.
Drive by.
That dude is the DC sniper.
Wow.
One man bukkake.
Like, I read some interview with him. I told you where he said how did he do it? He eat a whole bunch of celery. So I ate like a whole stalk of celery one time. It just gave me diarrhea for like a day.
Well,
why would you want to shoot like that? I don't.
What? Are you kidding me? Are you ready for this?
Play the Chicago Bulls music.
So, anyway,
Oliver
North, or whoever this was that wrote this book. It's probably not Oliver North. Forgive me.
Definitely not.
Let's
Peter
take
North.
names out of it. It was a guy that they fired that was involved with it. He wrote this book, and in the book, he was talking about. He was like, "Hey, as a heads up, your country's being ran by Nancy Reagan's astrologist."
Yep.
And they were like, "Wait, what?" And then Nancy got on the phone with the astrologist and was like, "Lie. Tell these motherfuckers this is not true." And then the astrologist was like, "Nope, I quit, and I'm definitely telling the world that this is true." Because I think she thought she was going to get a lot more bids for astrology meetings. So she went live on an interview and was like, "Look, I'm doing the Lord's work. Like I'm really reading the stars out here." That's how she kind of approached the interview. But like, it's just kind of crazy to think that like big decisions for the country were at one point being made by our president's wife's astrologist.
War on drugs, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that was one of them, but yeah. Anyway, the 4-part series is good. I enjoyed it a lot. I wouldn't say it's objective. Like it's definitely they definitely see it a certain way, and they want you to see it a certain way. Because there were some times where like don't get me wrong, I can watch it and enjoy it and be like, "Fuck, man, that's crazy." And then sometimes I'm like, now that seems like there's another side to the story for that, But be that as it may, I still really enjoyed it and would recommend it. So I also watched on, I think this is the last Showtime thing I watched. I watched The Opposite Sex 13 Years Later. So there's another documentary, and it was about 2 post-op trans people. Mm-hmm. One male to female, one female to male, both post-op. And I guess they did a documentary with Showtime 13 years ago. And now they're doing a follow-up 13 years later.
Pretty cool. Like, you usually don't get that.
Agreed. So I haven't seen the original, and I don't see it on there, which I think is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Probably don't hold the rights to it anymore.
They should be offering both. But anyway, watched it, and it was interesting. Like, it was interesting on a number of levels because there's like, you know, there's various shades of, it's a complicated decision, right? And there's various shades of being content. There's various shades of being satisfied. There's also shades of resentment. There's shades of dissatisfaction.
Oh, okay, no.
There's shades of regret. There's shades of... It covers the whole spectrum. But let me tell you what this one dude
Now, dude.
is definitely regretful of in a way. And in my opinion, has every right to be. So, post-op, female to male.
Mm-hmm.
They show it.
Okay.
It belongs on your horror story list.
Oof.
It is something else. It's
Is it the technology, older technology? Is it better now?
Oh, it's 13 years old.
it was 13 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, knee operations 13 years ago is not the same as knee operations now.
I can tell you that for certain.
So he said in it that eventually it will get to a place where it is good for everyone. He said, but we're not there yet. This is what the guy said.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely wasn't there 13 years ago because this shit looked like a monster.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, unfortunately, right?
Right. He should have started somewhere else.
Wait, the brave pioneer.
A little too brave. A little too raff.
So, did they explain? Did they explain what the procedure actually is?
They did not.
I remember seeing diagrams of it.
Inside out, or I don't.
So I don't know. It looked inside out to me, and I don't know if it looked like a vagina side, but it looked like something inside out. It looked like, somebody was like de-sleeving a sausage, a really short sausage, and was de-sleeving it, and it got about halfway.
Like, oh.
And the de-sleeving part is the penis part. So, like, the meat you don't really see. It's just like this, like, skin sock. It's not a pretty sight.
I don't want to see it. I like to see most things, and this is not one of the things I want to see.
So I
mean, the
listening
the picture, not the show.
Right.
Yeah.
From listening to my description, I wouldn't want to see it either. However, I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't want to see it again. Like, just for just for science. Like it was bizarre. Now,
was this considered to be good work?
I think for its time.
Okay, I didn't know if he had animosity towards the surgeon or
no, not at all.
Was...
He's still seeing the same surgeon to this day.
Oh, great.
Now, here's another thing that I found interesting. He walks into the surgeon's office. They have a good rapport, right? Like the surgeon, even 13 years ago, you got to think he was way ahead of his time, right? So they walk into this into the room, and he's like, "All right, well, let's see it. Let's take a look." And he's like, and as soon as his pants come off, the surgeon dude in this fucking is like, "Wow, what a nice package!" And I was like, I gotta grab my
Jesus Christ.
So it's I guess it's like expanding over time. It's like kind of stretching out a bit. It still doesn't really get erect. Like, it doesn't really work properly. It's trouble. Hey, as they often are. Am I right?
As they often
But the
are.
problem is it doesn't serve the purpose. Because, like, either I would think if I was in that situation, I would either for it to look the part or work the part. If it doesn't do either, then, like, might as well have not done it at all, right?
So, look, I'm not in those shoes. I don't know anything about
exactly.
it.
I'm only imagining.
But here's what I got to say about it. I don't think it's as much about the sex getting to go through with that operation. I think it's hating what you have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the case, mission accomplished.
Sure.
Because it's definitely something else now. So, anyway, watch that. It was quite good. I enjoyed it. I stayed up for the whole thing.
The whole thing, Bobby.
Yeah, and there was another, like, so the person that's male to female, she ended up, when she became female, she dated a whole bunch of men. She was out with a little hootie patootie out there in the streets. And then she settled down kind of with one dude, left him, settled down with a lady. and she's like a country western singer, like a aspiring
The
the trans person.
okay.
And she had a show, and I got invested in like the character, like character stuff, because like her ex showed up.
One of
And
the men's.
yeah, the one she had a relationship with, like a real meaningful one.
Yeah.
And then her present joint showed up, her female
Girlfriend.
yeah, showed up, and like she was now stuck in this awkward spot of like, because like she didn't think the female was going to show up, and she was like kind of talking to the male, like you could tell they were kind of hitting it back, and he loves her, like he like straight up loves her, like there's no doubt about it. And then like, you know, from the outside looking in, I don't mean to be offensive in any way, shape, or form, but just watching this thing and having an opinion about it, I don't know if it's because of my sexuality or sixth sense or whatever, but like the female to male, if I like saw on the street, I would have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
The male to female,
No, it's
I
the-
would 100%.
It's the way the human body works. It's just biology. Like it's a one-way street. That's why, if ladies take hormones, they take steroids, they end up looking like men, and it's irreversible. And men can't go. Like it's like a one way. It's like the human body transitions from feminine to masculine. It seems like, and
Right.
It doesn't. You can't go the other way around.
Right. But anyway, all that stuff was fascinating to me. It was a good documentary for anyone interested. It was good. So then that took me to Netflix to watch the Biggie documentary.
Oh, I watched the Biggie documentary.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
What'd you think?
I think that whoever that dude was that had all that footage
D-Rock.
sold it to Netflix, and they had people talk because it really was not even that cohesive. There
So-
was some new stuff, I guess, that I didn't know.
So I'll tell you what I liked about it. It didn't get lost in the Pac story.
No, they
Oh, it's
mentioned
just
it
his own
kind of
story without-
casually.
Yeah, it was just like it was about Big,
Nice.
and I appreciated that. Now, obviously, their stories always are going to be intertwined, but like I appreciate having the like let's focus. Like there's a lot to this dude. This I feel like Pac usually has a more independent story and then gets wrapped up in the big. But the big story when it's told, it often just like is like how can we get Pac in as soon as possible into the story?
It's because Pac still had an album coming out like this year.
Yeah,
I wrote this song a long time ago. This mask gives me a rash on my face.
I didn't think Trump was going to step away. I-70 up the speed limit to 80. Anyway, so like,
I honestly think that's a partial the reason for it.
and I think that that Pac is more of an icon than Big was. But be that as it may, I appreciated like hearing from like the friends that he grew up with and seeing all that footage of him just being a regular guy. And
Right.
Like I did like that. I did like So my daughter came home the other day, and I'm watching the Biggie doc, and Miss Wallace is speaking, and she was like, she came right into the room, and she did say this. She said, "She seems like someone's mom," and I said, "In a way, she's all of our moms."
That's right.
Like, I don't know. There's something about her when she talks. Like if she asked me to like get the paper for her, I would run out and get the paper for her. Like it's something. She just has this like very matriarchal kind of vibe about her.
There were two interesting takeaways for me from that, being the fan of his music and it obviously being so different than what was coming out at the time, was that his neighbor that kind of took him under his wing was like a traveling jazz musician.
Yep.
And then his uncle was a
reggae guy.
a reggae DJ who is wild as fuck. Because I bet you that guy's a lot of fun to party with.
Yeah.
But just that he took so much like his cadence from that scatty jazz.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, because I don't know. It's something I always really liked was his flow and the way he
had a way
nothing
of.
was ever the.
I always say this that like you could listen to a Big song one time, and then listen to it the second time, and you kind of already knew half the words to it. There was something about the way that he rapped that
It gets into your brain.
yeah, like it just sticks. Like it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Like it's just like it just sticks. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Like everybody just could say it. Like
Point there.
Yeah.
So I was playing some music. Me and Mason were working down in the shop. I'm kind of showing him how to do literally everything. So we're working side by side, and that's all. Juicy comes on. And Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. He said, "Were you really a baller back then if you had both consoles?" Like, I don't know, but a phone bill's 2 G's flat, and then I had to explain to him that you used to have to pay to call the next county.
Yep.
Dude,
1301.
I remember my dad saying, 1301.
That's wild.
I remember my dad saying, like, when I called, like, my aunt long distance, like, let it ring 4 times. If it seems like it's going to go to the answer machine, hang up before it goes to the answer machine. Because if the answer machine picked up, you had to pay for the call.
Pay for the minute.
But if it didn't pick up, you could hang up with no charge.
And then we started using phone cards because there's a,
1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah.
MCI.
I'm trying to think. There was something else that I found. Oh, the fact that they asked her if she ever listened. She was like, I've listened to each of his albums one time. And she's like, she just didn't like it.
They should have asked her, did you listen to that one they did after he died that they just kind of threw a bunch of shit together? Yeah, we didn't like that one either.
Yeah.
Oh, but
it's so weird.
But she said that I guess one of her neighbors had heard it and talked about how vulgar it was. And she said, I asked him and he said, Mom, that music's not for anybody over 35. And then she said, so I just didn't listen.
She
wow, how old and soft trash we are now.
It also the fact that he went to Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like,
that's a very Jamaican thing.
Yeah, but I get it because there was so many like religious references in his music that I always thought it was strange. Like not like in Catholic references, like Hail Mary, full of grace, like smack the bitch in her face, take the Gucci bag and the North Face off her back. Like I was just like, God, like when I talk to people that grew up Baptist or Protestant, our ideas. I have a wider view of religion after I went to private Christian school for 2 years, but when I went to Christian school and meeting those people, and I was like, oh, y'all didn't even respect like Mary. Like we don't even talk. Like we just like she's just a gal. Like she's just a lucky gal. Like like it was just a very strange realization for me. And when he talked about religion, it resonated with me with the way that I came to know religion as a kid.
That's interesting.
And then to find out that he went to Catholic school, oh, that's why.
I mean, I grew up kind of Christian. I went to because all the private schools in Hong Kong, I think I'll run religion, whether it's Buddhist or Christian or something. So and when I learned about Catholicism, I thought it was a cult.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, wait a minute, we're not supposed to fucking worship anybody but God. What was all these like a fucking billion saints and Mary and awesome and have shrines? And I'm like, I think that's one of the top 10 commandments of things not to do.
Yeah, you can take that. You can take that stuff. Like I can get into like a religious bag because I did study that shit for a long time. Like I actually know a lot about religion. Like flex, but like so like you can take that shit to an nth degree. Like a lot of Protestants won't have like a crucifix because it's like a crafted image of God, right?
Yes.
But like some Protestants do have crucifixes and they do have paintings of Jesus. That's a crafted image also.
Is that like that T necklace?
It's a lowercase.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
It's a lowercase. And then like I mean, pledging allegiance to the flag and shit. Like you can get in some real muddy waters as to what crafted imagery and idolatry really means. And
that's the thing is so vague and great. That's why like I couldn't stay in it. And also like it's just so much hypocrisy because people do interpret it in their own ways, whether they mean well or they're being shysters.
So I can tell you've been podding for a few years, Joe, because we're getting ready to segue into more hypocrisy regarding religion. I watched the Mormon murders or whatever it was called.
I saw that. I saw that on there. I hadn't watched it
tomorrow.
So
keep your spoilers light because I'll probably watch it this week too.
I'm not finished it either, so it could probably be shorter because we do rethread a lot of things on it. It's fascinating. That whole story is kind of fascinating with how it kind of came to be and between Joseph, whatever his name was, and
I believe it was Smith.
Yeah, Joseph Smith.
I learned everything I know from South Park.
Yeah, his wife, and a couple other people.
Bullshit on him.
Yeah, and like it's interesting. It's an interesting group of people.
I mean, does it matter? But the question for me is, does it matter? Like we know Scientology is bullshit, but like people are still into it regardless.
So that's the thing is like at a certain point,
like what is bullshit?
I don't know why people would sweat it because obviously the faith is already there, and a lot of times faith can be blind for better or worse. And it's like most people that are that committed to a certain culture or way of life, it doesn't matter what you kind of present to them. It's almost because there's so much that's built around it, right? Like communities are built around it, families are built. You know, like if you look at like the Behind the Curve documentary that was on Netflix, which was terrible. It was just so long. Should have been 1.5 hour show. But like at the end of it,
which one was that again?
It was about the flat earthers.
Okay, yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
I watched that too.
So at the end of it, they're like, well, what could we do to prove that your theories don't work?
Buy a $10,000 laser.
And they're like, do this. So they do that. And they're like, oh, well, anyone can do that. That was just a trial. So do this. So then they do that. And they're like, well, stuff can be fooled. Do this. So they do like 5 different things. They all turn out to prove that the world is round. But you can tell
tens of thousands of dollars. They really bought this equipment.
But you can tell that they don't care. It's faith. And on top of that, it's the complexities of their communities that they've built, and like they have friendships now, and relationships, and girlfriend, boyfriend, and husband, wife that have been met through this community. And so, like, to take one of the house of cards away, it collapses the whole thing, and they psychologically they can't fathom that idea.
It'll
They
collapse their
they
entire
literally can't
personality.
handle it.
Their whole entire life and personality is built around this, and like Scientology.
Right,
But
exactly.
I think it's like politics. Like you can show someone evidence of something clear 100%, and they're like, "Oh, that's fake," or you can show someone that, something that's fake, and they're like, "Oh no, it's real." Like people can really, really choose to believe what they want to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
So, Bobby, the Mormons play a part in the world of The Expanse.
Oh, do
Yeah.
they?
Oh,
Yep. This is
big
good.
part.
This is
Big
good.
fucking part.
I'll just give you the high points here. They hire Tycho Station to build them a 100-year ship. They're going to literally all the Mormons are going to. They've identified a planet. It's going to take 100 years to get there. So 3 generations are going to live on this ship.
It's like the promised land.
And then it gets stolen and turned into a warship.
Giant weapon.
What?
It's like
And what happened to the Mormons?
The whole thing's
did they?
they were. I don't know because they were worried about it because they were maybe
I guess they went back to
they were
Earth.
mad.
I don't know. What happened? Did Fred Johnson keep their money?
I
don't know.
mean, they kept the money and the ship.
Have
They
you guys
took
had-
the money to build a ship?
Have you guys had them stop by your house?
It's been a long
I thought
time.
Is the Mormons there? I thought it was
they
just
do.
the
It's
witnesses.
part of their.
Yes, both do.
Like you have to do.
You have to, as a Mormon, you have to like do 2 years. I think
I believe so.
I haven't had people knock on my door since I was a kid, but then again, I don't answer my door much.
they all dress the same, like
It's
black
white
slacks,
short sleeve
white
shirts,
short
and they're on
sleeve
bikes.
shirts.
Yep.
I think I've seen
yeah,
them ride
they're
around.
on
I've
bikes,
seen
yeah.
them ride the bikes around.
Yeah.
I think.
So like I go out and talk to them every time. Like if I don't have nothing going on, I'm like, yeah, I'll come out and kick it with you. You mind if I drink? Like, but I'll debate them and stuff. And like the last time I did it, I was like, what do you guys think of the South Park episode? And they were like, South Park episode? South Park did an episode on us, and I was like, all right, look, for us to continue this conversation, we're going to need to be a little bit more honest. I know that there's no way that you would be out here in these streets having conversations with random people had you not been educated on this episode, even if you hadn't seen it. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, so we're very much aware of it. And then like we got, and then we got into it, but like it was a good conversation, once we dropped some of the shrouds of bullshit, golden shrouds, I might add. But yeah, I mean, I value those talks anyway. I always talk to the Jehovah's Witnesses and shit. And I used to tell them, like, hey, like out of all of them, to the Jehovah's Witnesses, like you guys are kind of my favorites. Because you know what I respect about them? They just follow the book.
Yeah. No hypocrisy there.
So,
Just
yeah,
it's in the book.
It's in the book. We believe it. If it's not in the book, we don't believe it. There's nothing to think about. There's nothing to decipher. It's just, did he walk on water? Yes. Did he split the water in half? Yes. Is the world like 38 days old? Yes. Like it's all here. So like okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Fine.
At least it's straightforward.
Yeah. I
Black and white.
Yep. Exactly.
No marble fucking temple.
Yeah.
Fucking castle.
Dude, or the Maryland Disney World.
Yes.
That's
wild. Dude,
the Mormon temple that's on 495 is like.
Oh yeah.
Dude, as an immigrant, because like I moved into this area from Hong Kong and seeing that for the first time, I remember as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Is that
like
normal?
my mom telling me, like, because my mom's Catholic,
That's some D&D shit.
and my mom,
It does.
The Dice Tower.
my mom is also an idiot, so she had no idea what it was, and she just assumed it was a Catholic church.
No.
And like when we were driving past, there's like the angel on top with the
gold,
horn.
yeah.
And she was like, when Jesus comes back to life, that's the angel so and so, which is like some Catholic angel. And she's like, and then he'll come to life and blow the horn. I remember thinking like how horrifying it was. There was like this real angel frozen in time up there, just like golden armor, like as a kid. I remember another thing. Like speaking of religion, real quick. Like my great grandfather's house on my mom's side that, like, you know, heavy Catholic, like as Catholic as they come. You know, my great grandfather and my great grandmother,
Like candles and house and shit.
like all Irish, Italians, Catholic, etc., and everything that goes along with both of those cultures. And they used to tell me, "Don't go upstairs." Like they had like a 2-floor spot. Don't go upstairs. Jesus is up there. I was like, because you know, and then I'm looking around the house. There's like a painting of him over here and a painting over there, and he always looks sad and all bummed out and shit. And I was like, "Fuck, he's up there!" Like it was like a monster, you know. Like,
but why would you want to put that image in a kid's head?
No
That's so weird.
idea.
That's very strange.
No idea. No idea.
You say the devil's up there. That would have
Nope.
made more sense.
Old Jesus, Christos.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, okay. So we have one note. WandaVision, real quick.
Yeah.
What is it? What are your thoughts? We have a question about this too, so we can.
I mean,
knock it out there.
do you want to read the question first, and then we'll just kind of roll this in?
Sure. The question was something like about fan theories. Hold on, it was from Passive Bear. I said, crew, was not being able to binge WandaVision our undoing as fans, where it gave us time to create outlandish fan theories we were ultimately disappointed with not coming to fruition. I think he's asked something similar before.
So basically, you know, if you binge it, you don't have time to in my mind, you don't have time, and no offense to people who binge, because I do binge stuff, but when it's available and we can have dialogue, I try to watch it like that. But, you know, you have a week to decompress it or compress it or
Just mull
think
over.
about it, watch it again if you need to. You know, when it's all at once, you're going to watch it and you may or may not remember anything the next week because you'll watch something else.
Yeah, I don't
that's
think.
my 2 cents.
I don't think that not watching it in 3 days or whatever it would take to, you know, I don't know.
One day.
Hold my beer.
Well, for me.
For the average person, yeah.
Right.
You're not going to watch all of it.
I think I watched Punisher season 2 in one sitting. That was the one I've ever.
And that wasn't the best one to watch in one sitting. I don't feel like
It's fine.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It wasn't terrible.
I mean, it wasn't Iron Fist or anything.
No, thank God. But I would put them about equal.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like it's no Defenders. Defenders was the trash of.
Yeah, that was not good.
That was the worst. Anyway, so I'm not. So I'm disappointed in the show, but not because I had any fan theory. I actually was excited about this show because I didn't know what to expect.
Right, me either.
But then as it turns out, I should have just expected the kind of lamest shit ever. Where like.
I mean, we talked about it at the very beginning. It could be great, or like best thing, or
That's
the worst
why
thing.
I didn't want to give any sort of rating every week because I don't think it was supposed to be digested. Like, I think it was building to a bigger story.
Yeah, but it didn't, or at least in this season. Maybe it's building towards something bigger
overall
in the MCU.
in the MCU. But it's just I feel like I wasted my time. Like I don't feel like I am any. Like I feel like I'll be able to watch whatever thing comes next, and like this would be like one of this. What do they call them in Naruto? You can skip this episode.
Oh yeah, fill episodes.
Yeah, like I just feel like it had nothing to do with how I consumed it. It had to do with what I consumed. So we're watching it, and you know we talked about it here, the Agatha, the witch or whatever. Who, you know, so they have this big fight in the sky.
Dragon Ball style.
Yeah, and they're
Awesome.
they're doing it, and like it goes on. I feel like for fucking ever, and I'm just sitting there like my mouth like jaw dropped. Like this is so silly.
Well, so
Jaina says, "Oh no," and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I think this show might be dumb."
And she watched 1,000 episodes of Naruto.
yeah.
Well, she says that. So she says, though, to be fair, that Naruto is not good, but Shippuden or some shit is good, or something like that. I might be. To her.
It makes sense, I should say, but it's overall it's a waste of 1,000 episodes.
Right, I believe that too.
Well, I thought it was dumb. You know, Agatha's trying to pull all her power, and she keeps throwing it at her. You know, the thing that worked was throwing a car at her, which you have to admit, The Wizard of Oz thing with her under the car and you just see your boots there. Did you catch that?
Yeah, but I just like... Yeah.
I enjoyed it, the week by week unfolding, figuring out a little bit. And I think another reason I liked it is me, Mason, and Kelly sat down every week purposefully to watch it together. And then we talked about it together. And I don't know.
I mean, we did too.
I didn't dislike it. I think I've set my expectation for the finale of these things to a reasonable spot where I'm like, I've enjoyed the content so far. So however they decide to wrap this up, I'm going to be fine with it. And I was. I mean, did you watch the 2 after credit scenes?
Yeah.
The one in the cabin?
I think that the what I liked about the show was that it was interesting, unique, and different. Mm-hmm. But it ended up becoming formulaic, repetitive, and the same. You know, like that. That's what like
Okay.
the first 4 to 5. Actually, whenever they were doing the show themes, like the decades themes. I'm on board for all that. When it switched into just a regular show, the content switched into regular content. It's like it followed through with it, and then I was just meh.
Yeah.
Like I haven't enjoyed the last 3 weeks. It's not just this episode, and like I enjoyed the 6 episodes, 9 total, 8 total.
There's 9.
So I enjoyed the first 6 week by week, and then the last 3, I take or leave it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had nothing to do with. I think that's the best way
Some
to say
people
it.
like it a lot, though. I'm seeing, like, from my feed, I'm getting both.
Yeah, well, so I think it's a very 50-50 thing.
Like, I'm seeing people love it
Yeah, so I haven't
on my feed.
I haven't met anybody that loves it. Like, and most people are watching it. Mm-hmm. Like normies, you know, like I don't know anybody who's not watching.
I mean, superhero stuff is normies now.
Yeah,
to be fair.
but they may not have watched, Spider-Man: Far From Home, but they're watching this. You know, maybe because of COVID, maybe because of whatever, but like it's a thing. But like they're all like, you know, at first they were like, it's kind of cool and fun and such, and now they're all like, what is this? Like, you know, but not everybody hates it. There's a lot of people that I know that are like, oh, I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. You know, I haven't heard anybody. I haven't met anybody that's like, dude, best.
No, I haven't either.
Ever.
I mean, like I said, my expectations are now, you know, I want to enjoy the hour I'm sitting there. And I enjoyed every hour I sat there and watched it. So,
but that's the thing with me with just consuming media. It's just, like, I know, because you're different from the two of us, Bobby. Me and Chris are just in it for the entertainment. If I'm entertained for that amount of time, that's what I want. There's nothing more I want from it. If I get something else, meaning of life or whatever out of it, then great. If not, then as long as it wasn't bad.
Right. Well, so I agree with you that
Then it's a waste of time. Like, if I wasn't entertained, that's a waste of time.
So the last 3 episodes I wasn't entertained.
Yeah, so that was definitely a waste of time.
Yeah, but then it made the overall story to me
Complete
uninteresting,
waste of time,
and then it made it a whole waste of time.
Yeah, but that's how I feel about like Naruto and Bleach. Like,
Yeah.
Reading something for 10 years,
only imagine.
one chapter every week.
what are you looking at?
I've been reading the Coruscant Nights for about 10 years.
Yeah, it's getting
Like,
close.
So 52 chapters a week every week for 10 plus years, and then the last fucking arc made it all completely a waste of time. It's an awful feeling.
Yeah,
makes me angry at it.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine.
Like,
my heart goes out to you.
I mean, that's why when Naruto comes, I'm like, I hate that shit. But, like, it's not all bad. Like, the 9/10 of it was great, but it just soured it so much that I was like, fucking throw the whole thing in the fire.
Episode 9.
What if Bobby, the ending was everything just kind of ends and it starts in her eye and focuses all the way out and she's just in a straitjacket looking at the ceiling? The whole thing was in her mind.
I think I would have liked that better. I think I would have liked that better.
I think this is going to lead
That would be
into.
real interesting.
I think this is going to lead into the Doctor Strange film.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's coming out first, though, right?
I think so.
maybe.
I think
Which is
Spider-Man's
weird to me,
this
'cause,
year. I think Spider-Man's
Because,
this
like,
fall.
I thought Doctor Strange was going to introduce the multiverse thing to the MCU, but there's going to be multiverse thing in the Spider-Man.
That's a different multiverse, though. That's a Spider-Verse, apparently, which is different from the. I don't. Look at his face. Yeah, that's. Dude, we need to make a meme of that.
Yeah, his eyes went up to the opposite sides of his
Joe
face, like
said-
the opposite of cross-eyed, but also rolled up. at the
Joe
same
said, "What?" Dude, it's like the freakiest Undertaker
Joe
move.
said, what?
That's my favorite.
Oh man.
All right. So this is a real quick only note for the week, but only because we covered it last week. Be more rhythmic. The protest work. the ladies are back to work.
They're back to work.
Nice.
The strip
Yeah,
clubs are
buddy.
back rocking.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them. And good for the colleges that are going to get all those tuitions now.
That's
And
right.
good for the ladies who have the nice body but have the excuse to wear a mask now. Get more.
You know, I've thought a lot about that. I've thought a lot about that. If that was your weak spot,
yeah,
your
right.
game.
I mean, sometimes I feel bad. I've seen ladies with a banging body and the face is just it's what they call a butterface, Chris.
then chewing on.
I've heard that expression before.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so questions. We have a lot. One is from Ibuka. I believe he told us that was the correct pronunciation last time he wrote in. He said, "Good evening, NRR crew. Hope you all are doing well. I have a bit of information that I think you guys may find interesting and some quick-fire questions if that's not a bother. I didn't send this because of the quick-fire element. For context, I'm an animation student, so I keep up with all this what the studios are doing. So about the Transformers Nick show, who is being headed by the rise of the TMNT writers, chances are will be more of a general audience's show rather than a kiddie kid show. There are 2 Transformers shows in the horizon, one for Netflix, Transformers Bots, based off the toy line, which will be on Netflix, and then this Nick show. The animation studio Flying Bark has recently started a round of hires, starting off with a new pipeline technical director, which is not needed unless they are starting up a new show. Based off that, I am fairly certain that Flying Bark will be doing all the visuals of the show, which means visually the show will look pretty amazing. Rise of the Turtles, Lego's The Monkey Kid are the most recent notable works. They are also on work on Star Wars Galaxies of Adventure shorts for YouTube. Knowing the writing style of Antword and company, the show will definitely lean into a lot of new and unique ideas while still keeping the baseline of what made something special. I say all that to say this. Unless I am totally off base, the chances of this show being Thundercats Roar, Teen Titans Go trash is relatively low.
That's good to know.
But it's the first time I have really gotten to see an animated show get built from the ground up. I recently sent in a loose character design application, some examples attached below for context. So hopefully, unless I have to sign any NDAs, I can give more info.
Huh. Awesome.
Yeah. So there they are. You should... I guess I sent your Twitter, your Instagram or something. We'll plug you next time. He said, for my quick fires, 1, blue and gray or black and gray for Batman? Black and gray.
Black and gray.
Black and gray.
Black and black.
Yes, that too. Any talents you have that you wish you got to share more often? So I can suck my own.
You see, I had 3 ribs removed on my left side.
I have no talent, so no.
That's not true.
You have tons of talent.
Yeah, that's not true. More LARPing from you. You can paint, you can draw, you can craft, you can sculpt, you can model, you can...
And then he can model as well.
Yes. Yes. And you can play the piano.
I only consider something a talent if you're good at it, not if you're a mediocre. That's just something you do.
Good is relative.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder there, Joe.
Well, that's in my eyes. So
I'm beholding it also.
And you also can take a mean R&B album cover.
I was
photo.
going to say, I'm going to take a mean pagan.
And real quick, Joe,
Wow!
that's not a talent. That's not a talent. That's a skill. But when you say things like that about yourself, Joe, you know what you're doing?
What?
Talking about my friend.
What would Chris Gaines say?
Look at me just like this.
What about you?
He already shows all his talent.
Bro, I've got it all out there, I think. I can't think of it.
Because both of you are public with your talents. People get to see your shit.
Yeah.
I don't want, except Bobby's like real proud of his dick talent, so he can't show that everywhere.
I hate that I don't get a book wrestling anymore because I always have these outlandish ideas. Like, what if you had a match? I thought of this last night. Instead of, it's a if you're out of the ring too long, they count you out. What if that's the only way you can win the match? It's a count out match. See,
So you have to keep people out the ring?
right.
Opposite of
You're
King of the
trying
Hill?
to keep, exactly. It's just I enjoy the creative part of that, and then I think people enjoyed my creativity when I did it. So
I'll tell you what. I don't know if it's a talent. I think mine's a skill.
what's the difference? You have to learn both.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. But here, look.
That's what I'm saying. Talent has to be something. It's a skill that you fucking excel at because you were born you. That's how I feel like.
So you can't develop a talent?
You can develop a skill. Talent is just like a natural born gift that you
You're about to say develop.
yeah.
I just want to call it.
But
you saw his mouth go, and then he was like, "No, I'm sorry, it was just a different word."
It's not the right word because what the old saying go hard work will beat talent when talent refuses to work.
Right.
But if talent's working hard and you're working hard, talent will kick your ass.
Right.
Well, I don't
know if I have any talents in that regard either, but I think that I don't think I'm born with any natural ability. But it's hard to say who's born with any natural ability without knowing their entire life story. Do you know what I mean? Because even Michael Jordan, you don't know little things he might have been doing as a kid that just led to him being as good as he was.
But just him physically born his dimensions.
But being born with dimensions isn't a talent. Putting those dimensions to practice in that particular way is the talent.
Right. I mean, look at me. You weren't born with those dimensions.
I'm as tall as Michael Jordan. You don't see me, with a little bitty mustache with the wine eyes.
Yeah.
Opposite end of the spectrum, but just as much talent, if not more. Do you know how tall Prince was?
Like 5 foot?
5'3".
Yeah, he was a short guy.
No wonder he wore high heels. Just to get by. Just to grab the dish.
Just to reach the top kitchen cabinet.
Yeah. But neither here. I'm pretty good at tying knots. Like if I gotta get something.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Get something good to strap down to the car or whatever. I'm your guy. I'm pretty good at it.
How's your bow line?
Does
the rabbit go up the hole around the tree and back down?
I don't even do the rabbit. That's how good I am.
Wow.
Yeah, and I would bet a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You could put me next to anybody, and I can tie a bowling faster than them.
Wow.
That's talent.
I'm out of practice.
Skill.
I'm very out of practice. Why not?
But it's just I don't know. It's a weird thing to say, but I don't get to show that often. That
is true.
Valentine's Day.
Oh boy.
Thoughts on Lego Batman? I think he's good fun.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I like Will Arnett a lot.
I like that movie. I liked him in the Lego movie, and I liked him in his own movie.
Yeah, I loved him in the Lego movie.
Yeah, I liked him better in the Lego movie than his own movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
Most regrettable recent purchase?
Well, recent.
3 packs of strawberry frosted donut Oreos.
I bought not the hot wire tool I have now, but a very expensive hot wire tool. This is probably last year that I hated immediately, and I boxed it up, and it's in the storage. Just didn't have, that was probably a big regret for me.
I'm very picky with what I buy nowadays, so it's hardly
I don't think I have any.
In the last few years, I don't think I've regretted any purchase.
I don't think I have any real regrets either, purchase-wise, recently. I think I'm good. Oh, IG-11 and Baby Yoda and all that shit, only because of the Gina thing. But it's I wasn't regretful. I'm regretful that I made the purchase when I did, but when I made the purchase, I wasn't regretful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I made well, it may not be clever. Someone on Facebook had posted that they had played the Mandalorian version of Monopoly, and I said, "Is there a side quest to keep Cara Dune off the internet?"
Oh my god!
I saw some other Cara Dune joke that was pretty good recently too. Can't remember what it was though. Anything you are looking forward to in particular? Toy, movie, game, whatever. Thank you for all your time and thanks for all the laughs.
Devil Is Apartheid 2, Season 2.
There you go.
Final Fantasy VII R 1.5, which is coming out in 3 months. Which is going to make me buy a PS. Because I always said I don't buy fucking PS5s or new equipment when it first comes out. But this is going to make me buy it earlier than Christmas.
Oh boy!
Normally I would buy it.
Is that when they're thinking it'll go down $100 or whatever, and there'll be plenty?
I don't know. I don't think they care. Yeah. They're like, this is when it's dropping. Y'all fucking fend for yourself.
Right.
It's mutually good for them to drive up more hype and more sales.
I'm really looking forward to the Snyder Cut. I'm really looking forward to some of these quarter scale statues I've got on pre-order.
Yeah, I mean, I fully paid for the Claymore one, but I don't know when it's coming out.
I'm looking forward to having that, to see that in its final form. My Module case.
But then,
no, I'm out.
Yeah,
it's not for me. It's not for me.
Not the Module case, but statues
are not for me.
Oh, because you keep breaking them.
I keep breaking them. The financial commitment to them. The whole I like that I have the ones that I have. I like that the ones that I have are super meaningful to me.
But that's what that was your goal to begin
Correct.
with.
It all panned out almost by accidentally perfectly, and I'm out.
And you don't think anything else is ever going to come out again that's going to hit that note with you?
I don't want to spend that much money for a thing anymore. It's too much responsibility. It's like it's figuring out where I'm going to put the box. I get it. Yeah, it's too much.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah, it's too much, and I want out. I'm going to finish it, and then I'm looking for exit stage left immediately. I'll be proud of what I did with it. I'll be proud of the choices that I made because I think that was half the battle for me. And then I'm out. So like I'm looking forward to having that section of my collecting career like pinned.
Yeah, it's just like every collector has their own what they want out of a collection. Just for me, like I'd rather have one $700 statue than 7 $100 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't think they're equivalent. I feel like I get more out of the one $700 statue.
So that's
for other people, they rather have the.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like
it's different.
Value. I don't regret it. I think it is the epitome of the things that I love.
And yeah, I just ordered 2 more Magic cases like last week.
And that's pretty much what I love.
Yeah.
And I don't need to. There's no room in my heart for anything else.
Well, there you go.
Like it's filled. It's done. It's good.
But like, you don't think you spend the same amount of money on a collection of things that? How should I put it? So like, okay, so one of those statues are $700, right?
One of them probably is.
So you have like a bunch of loose figures that equivalent to $700.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think would mean as much to you.
See, I don't know.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
No, like I mean that X-Men shelf.
Yeah,
that's
probably
$700 shelf, isn't it?
Well,
I don't know how many.
No, but it's
not a lot of imports on it.
Yeah, so let's say that's 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well,
3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say that's $350.
Well, you could say that that one definitely is the Avengers.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, but like and to be fair, I don't know if I get a ton of satisfaction out of either of these because I don't often see them just because I usually sit here.
Right.
So like I'm really happy with that Joker Harley, and it's the best thing I ever bought in my life, Joe, because I spend most of my life fucking looking right at it. But like, it's not that I don't enjoy the thing that I spent $1,200 on. It's that the stress of spending $1,200 on something, the stress of not breaking it, the stress of finding a place for the box, the stress of like even just going to work and be like, man, I hope the Magic Case shelf holds up. You know what I mean? Like,
until you mentioned Magic Case, that could have been about an expensive sex doll.
Right. But like, it's
maybe. What if you had a Magic Case full of sex dolls?
Dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, they fit in there.
Yeah, you just put them sitting there cross-legged.
And that's why I say I don't regret it.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying, I'm just wondering. Because, like, I'm sure you can pick out a bunch of figures throughout this basement that you don't really care that much about. You bought it just because it's $10-20, and that would amount to, like, $1,000.
Yeah, but to me, it's all about, like a lot of these figures, like, it's not about the figure. It's about the shelf. So, like, the figure's only, it's that the figure's only part of the puzzle. The puzzle itself is like, I don't give a fuck about those rock creatures from Krang's planet. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, they're cool, and I never had them, but like, I don't even know their names.
That's what I'm saying. You bought them,
right? General Krang, I think is one.
Yeah,
but I love the shelf. Love it. Like, and I love.
Yeah, I mean, those shelves are great. But like, I would never buy a character that, like like that. Like, I don't know who the name is.
But it's like that's the thing is like. It's like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts for me, and I feel that way about the Magic Case too. I'm just good with that space.
Yeah, I mean, like, because you're not regretting it,
not at all,
and you're not going forward. Which was that's par for the course. That's exactly what you said you were going to do, and
well, and I was hoping that I was going to be okay with
and
and I am.
Yeah,
and I am
perfect.
Yeah, just because like I was afraid that I was going to be like, oh no, this is my life now. But it's not.
Yeah,
it's not. I love it. I love the pieces in it. But it's not fun in the same way for me. There's no fun factor to it. It's all anxiety. Like It's like I like it, the price point makes me anxious. The payments make me anxious. The debt that I accrue and then pay off. And then, by the way, I just paid off some debt recently. My credit score, I'm knocking on 800 store.
Hell yeah.
So 3 figures.
Welcome to the club.
Flex.
But like, I like the paying it off, the having the right space for it that is allocated for it, and then putting it together, and then what I do with the box, I gotta find, but the trash even gonna take a box this size? Like all of that shit, I'm just like, it's not for me. It's not for me.
I wonder if your experience would be different. Or like how you feel now. I wonder if how you feel now would be different if nothing ever broke. Like there's no way to know, but like I just wonder if that has something to do with it. That you have at least subconsciously accrue so much negative experience from having to fix so many things.
Yeah, I
like
definitely
if you didn't have to send the gambit back, if the module case came proper the first time.
Right.
I'm saying, like you had something wrong every step of the way. You know what I mean? And it's just such a you thing. You always say, "Oh, of course it happens to me." But like, I'm looking at it. I've experienced this for the past year. Every fucking thing went wrong every fucking time.
It's almost like they're cursed idols or something.
Yeah.
So like, I wonder if nothing went wrong and it was completely smooth, that you would be in a different headspace.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I bought this Sideshow Collectibles book. Like it's like a hardcover book. It's called like Sculpting a World or something.
Oh yeah.
And it has like all of their quarter scale statues in it. And like, you know what? In a way, that's good enough for me. Right? Like I'm
You got
in
the
for
catalog.
Yeah, I'll get
the
the books. I'll get the books after I finish this thing. I'll get the books. Let's see what else. So we have
Chris has $1,000 worth of fucking things in the box that he doesn't even know.
Yeah, that's a fact.
What box?
Which one? Did you tell me which one? Which box? The
all of
speeder
them.
box?
The crash one.
Or the
All of them.
or the one the Zuvio box?
So this is from Michael P. He said face paint for Nerd Rage video. Hey, Michael P., your favorite rapper's favorite headphone emailer. If you recall, he wrote in about the Tekashi headphones.
Yep.
He said, I'm listening to the part of the show where you're talking about wearing the mask for the podcast video and had this thought. What if you ditched the mask for the video and did some sort of face paint like a wrestler? I'm thinking something like Papa Shango. I'm sure Pinkerton would be more than willing to help you figure that out, and then problem solved. I guess you could look at it like Chris's face paint. And for that matter, if you ever decide to ditch the mask entirely, it could be a big event, just like it was for Kiss. Kiss's face paint, not Chris's face paint.
It can be doink.
And for what it's worth, your content is better than anything Kiss. Oh, that's not true. But thank you for the kind words.
I'm never going to paint this man's face. I'm just going to put that out there. That's just not going to happen,
so to speak.
But they're paint the town red and paint his wife white.
That's Kid Rock, I believe.
Yep. There would be I mean, you could get a different kind of mask that had, eye holes in it. And then you could just do the eye black. Yeah.
So, I'll tell you this. I don't know what I'm going to do about 300, but I'll tell you this. I did face paint for a couple times now, but I did it for Darth Maul. I think I did it for
Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester, but it wasn't as much. But the Darth Maul one was involved, right? And my wife wouldn't let me shave my eyebrows. I was trying to shave them because I wanted to.
There's nothing wrong with that. Chris shaves his eyebrows with paint.
Yeah, so I wanted to shave them.
I mean,
my daughter does it with a glue stick.
Yeah. How long does it? Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah,
but how long does it take for them to grow back?
Well, I've always been told they never grow back. Right, like you see the dudes that had lines years ago, their eyebrows still aren't.
I heard that it comes back like 7 years or some shit. I was like, oh my god.
I don't think that's true.
You should get some.
I don't know. I don't know.
You should just get one line tattooed on each. Always look angry.
So anyway, we'll see. Joe S. Sup Nerd Rage crew. So last week I mentioned that the head assembly was missing from my KFC Dicka.
That was hilarious.
Your Dicka missing head.
It's like, what the fuck?
I contacted the seller, TF Source, if you want to mention it, and they gave me their first.
We don't.
And they gave me their first solution. They were going to check their donor section to see if they could find a spare part and have me fix the issue myself. That apparently fell through, and they are now having me send it back for them to fix or replace it. Here's my question. In a situation like I've ran into, should there be an option where the customer is responsible for fixing a manufacturer defect? I feel like if there is something simple like tightening or loosening a screw for tolerance issue or something similar, sure. Reassembling something or taking things apart, I don't think that is my responsibility.
No, it's not.
I pay full price for a new in-box item. Thoughts? Also, it appears there's another Joe S. sending questions in, too. So I'd like to give a shout-out to the other Joe S. Keep it up, fellas. Yeah, no, I agree. It's not your
I mean, if you choose to want to do something on your own to save time on shipping things back and forth, that's
and if you're comfortable doing it.
And if it's something similar like a head on a ball peg, you know, that you can just... Like, but if you got to knock pins out...
No, not pins, no. If you have to, like, unscrew the knee, put it back... So it's not chicken leg. You can do that on your own, but like missing parts, no, fuck that. That's not a customer's job. That's not what they paid for.
Yeah, and especially that we're talking about $100+ items.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you know what I mean.
I'll tell you a story real quick. So we at Crashbox have excellent customer service.
I've heard that.
As long as within 10 days. I'm kidding. I actually had a couple people have had damage to their orders, which you ship enough.
It's fragile items.
It's gonna happen. And one of he broke the archway thing, or it broke. He said it broke in transit, and we have yet to figure out how the hell these are breaking in transit. But I sent him another one with a call tag. Just send it back, and I guess at some point he thought he'd try to glue it together because it literally just broke in the middle.
It snapped.
And it took us a minute because we're like, what happened? Why does this look melted? So whatever glue he used was just like melted the foam away. Yeah. I just thought it was funny, like because I guess he tried to do that after he took the pictures because they weren't like that in the pictures that he sent. But I just thought it was
people do lack the know-how of like I don't want to heat up a pin and knock it out because you have to do that. Like,
right.
For a properly placed pin, you can't just pull it out. You can't just tap it. You may not have a tapping tool either.
Exactly. Right. Who doesn't have tapping?
I'll tell you who does. It's T2RX6.
Yes, exactly.
He's a pin removing motherfucker.
I think he fixed my Fans Toys Grimlock. Like I bought it, and he's like, "You want me to?" I don't know what it was. He had some little drill with him. It was at NJCC a long time ago. Like, okay, whatever, dude. Fix it.
He showed up here one time, and he was like, "Here's my tackle box. I know you have a couple things that need sorting," and he like sorted all of it.
Yep, I remember that.
All right, question from Damien C. What's up, Damien? He said, "Hi, team. After the WandaVision, finally, I have seen a number of comments and reviews about it being a disappointment. Having no expectations on the series and only a mild knowledge of the source material, I personally enjoyed the overall story and delivery. Would I have preferred some parts to be different? Yes. And did I think some of the possible fan theories were cool? Also, yes.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
But I'm confused why this and many related series, sagas, cinematic universes are getting so much hate because the story is not told how fans envision it to go." I see what he did there. Look, build a booth. Everyone can decide if they do or didn't enjoy something, of course, but to decide not to like it because it wasn't done your way seems to a much bigger part of how nerd entertainment is judged. It would be like someone taking you on a surprise trip, and during the journey you surmise that the next turn is right, but they go left. You now have the shits and cannot get over yourself and enjoy the trip the way it was intended to be while blaming the driver for your lack of enjoyment. Are fans feeling too entitled? What are your thoughts on this, and do you think it's impacting our entertainment? So,
I think there's two things going on there.
So I do too.
Yeah.
I think that Game of Thrones is where I often pin this. Like, I think that Game of Thrones didn't sum up everything. There's a lot of loose ends in Game of Thrones, like a lot of the outline characters that like you just don't know what happens to them. There's also some endings of some characters that I'm like, I'm not sure if I get why he ended up there. Like I'm not good with names, so it would be more of a disaster for me to try to explain it. But I feel like most people are super disappointed with the end of Game of Thrones because Daenerys and Jon Snow didn't walk into the sunset happily ever after in love. And that was never an option on that show.
Right.
You know, and that's what they because most people that I talk to that hate it, I'm talking about hate it, are like, and then and they come here and they dance there, but then it always ends up with Jon Snow and Daenerys. So I do think that's a thing, but sometimes also like, you know, not to reiterate or beat a dead horse, but my disappointment with WandaVision has nothing to do with any fan theory or where I expected it to go. You just
didn't like whatever they had on the table.
It just didn't go anywhere. Yeah. I just make the left, make the right, just make a turn. But also I think that like sometimes a turn can be the wrong turn.
Yeah.
You know, I think that Star Wars Episode 9 is a wrong turn.
Wrong turn. But I don't know, some people love it.
Yeah, which is if you like it, you win, right? Like golden rule.
It's not. Yeah, it's not that I wanted to go a certain way. I just didn't want to go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll say
That's true.
yeah. I cannot get my Scarlet Witch Hot Toys figure. She's always leaning over, like she will not stay standing up. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like she's lost her vision or something.
I knew we were headed into one.
I've been shopping that one for a couple weeks, waiting on the right time.
Testers, you've been giving out testers?
Yeah, a little bit of feelers here and there.
Oh God!
See if we get eye rolls from my family. Yeah,
You didn't get the.
I didn't know.
wait,
I don't know what that is.
That
It was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, I think like so. If I was to try to deconstruct or really be critical of myself, right? If we look at the big endings of 2019, Game of Thrones, the ending I enjoyed. I think a lot of people didn't enjoy because it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. I would also put Episode 8 in that category. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people didn't enjoy it because it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. Now, Episode 9, I think, is a wrong turn. Endgame, I don't think is a bad movie, but it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And I don't like it because of the turn it made. Is that fair? I don't know. Because I think it is fair because I can say, look, the movie's fine. I don't like it.
right.
You know, like, which I think
You're not shitting on the movie.
Correct.
Yeah. You just like it's just not what you wanted.
Correct. And I don't think so to get back to your like entertainment thing, I think the way I approach Marvel a lot of times is more about enjoyment. Did I enjoy this?
Right.
And I didn't enjoy that movie. It felt like work.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on any of this, Christopher?
I mean, I think I've decided I'm just gonna try to be. I'm gonna watch something. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't think about it afterwards.
This
either.
is a really shitty steak, but I'm gonna eat the rest of it. You know.
I've done that too, though.
And I have as well. I've eaten a lot of things. I'm like, God damn, this is awful.
It's depending on how much there is to consume, whether you quit or not.
Right.
It's just
and
like,
honestly, it's like
there's 3 in, 3 out, right?
Like if I'm 60% through the movie and it is trash, it depends on if I don't have anything going on. I'm
there
like,
was just
you know
that
what?
terrible movie you watched recently where you're like, we're gonna power through this.
What was that?
You said it was like the worst movie you've ever seen in your life.
It was that. Oh God! It had.
It's hurting his brain right now.
Yeah.
It had Shia LaBeouf as a cholo in it.
Oh.
Yes. I can't think of the name of it.
I haven't quit a movie because movies are short investments, an hour and a half, whatever, 2 hours.
Right.
I haven't quit a movie in the last, like, as far as I remember, except for Cats, the butthole.
Butthole cut.
But yeah, like I don't think we made it through like a quarter of a third of the way with the movie. As a group, like we were watching as a group, we all collectively decided
No good.
anything else.
Jellicle cat, jellicle, the jellicle cat.
So dumb.
But yeah, I can power through most anything else. I can find some enjoy, even if something's bad. You can, like Hellraiser 3, awful. But like I can make myself entertained.
Yeah.
Well, you could have just imagined all the cats did have buttholes.
Yeah. Oh, I watched Wonder Woman also. By the way, I forgot that on Wonder Woman.
Which Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah. It's quite good still.
Does it hold up?
Yeah.
It's been so long.
All of 2 years.
But yeah, it was still quite good. Okay, Shoki, X-Men Future Days. Good day to my favorite nerd lifestyle podcast.
Yo.
Now that WandaVision blue-balled us a bit, it's so funny. It's so funny, like just the difference, like just like 50-50, right? Yeah. Since other than Photon, no new superpowered heroes arose, i.e. no multiversal research reaching to give us mutants, how do you think the X-Men will come about in the MCU?
In 10 years. What do you say MCU in 5 years?
Popular theories are pulled from the other verse. They have been around in secret, or the snap rotation gave people the X gene, and when they do show up, how would you prefer the rollout? Trilogy style, like the old Fox CU, or maybe slow through Disney Plus, building characters until the Xavier starts the school with his first class. Keep up the good work. You keep my Saturdays at work bearable. Shoki. P.S. If you want to talk the craziness in Texas, hit me up.
Nice. We touched on this a bit, I think, last week, that the only thing that makes sense for the next main movie arc is cosmic shit.
Yeah. I don't think it's the right time for mutants.
I don't think... I think we'll get a Wolverine movie to start it off. Or, well, we're going to get the Deadpool movie, and we'll see who they put in the Deadpool movie.
Yeah, because
I think from there...
Deadpool, so...
Yeah.
I mean, mutants are in Deadpool. In the Deadpool verse. If they're rolling the Deadpool verse into MCU, then they're there.
Well, he can just jump. Do you know what I mean? That's how they could work around
Just
that.
have him.
Yeah, he could just be like, well, no, that... As it turns out, that universe went bankrupt, so I went over here because they bought him out, and you know what I mean? And
but I'm still going to pop over there every once in a while.
If they decide to do something with that, I might make my way over there.
What if it's just Deadpool hosts Deadpool presents the X-Men? And it's like, in this universe, there's this short hairy guy.
And here's my balls. I'm gonna
this
put them on your shoulder.
Because this is on Hulu, not on Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that... let me say this. I think that if people... To get back to Damien's question a bit, if people don't like this WandaVision because it didn't bring mutants into it, that's definitely on you.
Yes.
That's 100% on you.
There was no guarantee that was going to...
There was no guarantee,
was
and
thinking.
it was very improbable.
Ralph.
It would have been cool to like hint at something, but even that would have been a super slow burn. It was very improbable that this was going to be the When Worlds Collide. I'm just happy that it didn't bring the fucking Fox mutants into the shit. You know, that's my one happy takeaway from all this.
But he turned out to be Ralph.
Yeah.
What if we start with cosmic shit and Starjammers?
What if Starjammers introduced the X-Men? It'd be like a twist of fate.
Yeah.
But I think that it's like you can do it. I don't think it should be a multiverse thing. I think it should be in universe. That's my personal, because I'm not a big... When the shit starts getting too complicated, a lot of times it starts getting too dumb.
Yeah, it does. You can't take it seriously anymore. It's so convoluted. It's like, oh, of course.
Right.
I mean, yeah, kind of what's going on with comic books.
Right. You're not wrong. But I think that I think that the snap having some sort of effect across the world and
across the universe.
Yeah, across. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think so.
And then you'd still be, theoretically, what has it been, 3 years? Like you'd be like. And that could snap, and that could affect people now. Like, it could affect an 8-year-old. It could affect a 10-year-old. It doesn't have to be a newborn person. You know what I mean?
It could affect grown-ass people who come back with these powers.
Right. So, I think that's the way I would prefer it. Or if something that we didn't even think about, like, some Tony experiment that's done in Iron Man 3 that makes Iron Man 3 worth a fuck. You know what I mean? Like he tinkers soldiers, Taylor spies some glove in some fucking basement, and all of a sudden it creates music. Just something. I'm good with that.
I'm hoping it's not that, but
right. No, me neither. But you know what I mean? Just some event.
Yeah.
Our county is having a big meeting tonight, and possibly about sending the kids back full time.
You excited?
Oh my God. Love to hear it. I'm going to write my wife back right now and say, love to hear it.
My kids can go back 4 days a week starting
at the end of
next
March,
week.
Right?
Yeah, I think.
Keith, KFC.
KFC's back. Weekly,
says,
right in now.
Hey, guys, just had some thoughts on the overall show that I wanted your thoughts on, and you might have hit on some of them maybe earlier. Real quick, I'm going to interject last week's show, Robot Toy Base. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that was the store previously known as Chumungmung.
Chimongmung. Okay.
Didn't know that either.
Lenny was big into dealing
with
Robert
pretty much
I bought some from them before.
Tony's a stand-up dude, it seems. I've had limited dealings with him, but every time it's been fine. He actually helped me get the Player's Kai Boba Fett.
Nice.
He had a line on one. They were sold out everywhere. He had a line on one and secured. So yes, Tony seems to be a good dude.
Yes.
I don't know him personally.
But he's been around for years.
He changed the name from Chumungmung to Robot Toy Base. I forgot that.
Yeah, I forgot that.
But yeah, super reputable place, and many people made me aware of it. So yes, co-signed to the ceiling. He says, hopefully Joe watched the show now that it is all out.
Good luck.
So
I'll talk about it in 3 years. Like, oh, by the way, I watched WandaVision.
So I've been wondering and then by that point, and I liked it, and I'll be so tired of it. Yeah, God, I think it's great too, Joe. So I've been wondering myself if the show was as good as it was because it actually was, or because we haven't had anything from the MCU since July 2019.
Someone like it.
Yeah, but he's even questioning maybe I like it for the wrong reasons. And second, if I was let down in the finale because so you liked it, but let down. Because I myself had all these thoughts of things that could happen, like Doctor Strange showing up and into the segment.
Did you talk to the guy?
Yeah, this is the same shit. I like how it set up future storylines, but I think you said it best last week when you said a show like this won't have a satisfying ending, and that's why I can't decide if personally it was great, because I thought the ending was kind of trash. Time will tell after Falcon and Winter Soldier finishes, but if memory serves correct, that was the first show to release before COVID happened, and maybe they should have stuck to that. Sorry for a long one, so to speak, and like usual, keep up the great work. Yeah, I think we've covered this pretty thoroughly at this point. But thank you for writing in, Keith.
Yes.
And hope those protector bots are going just fine. He said, Matt H. Shout out to Matt H. He said, hey, fellas, I hope all is well with you all. I will cut to the chase. I just got my first hot toy, Fat Boy Mando. Have you guys ever gotten a product that made you really think I am out on the rest of this shit and will only collect X brand? I am looking at some of my Star Wars pre-orders, and I am seriously thinking about canceling all of it to go all in on Hot Toys.
Dude, that Bo-Katan makes me want to go. But it's too late because all the other shit is already like secondary market and expensive. So
she looks like John Cena.
Well, I might have a Mando for you if you want a Mando and Yoda.
Which? Oh, the
yeah.
Okay.
Because I only want him if I can get Kara and IG. And
you're definitely not getting Kara.
No, but IG's coming, and I already have him pre-ordered. You could just take that one too if you wanted. So think about it. Let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so let's handle that one first. He has a second question. He has a couple questions.
Well, fan stories like that for you. It's like fuck everything else. I'm just buying fan stories.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt,
Zeta. I have some other ones in there. Like,
I'll give you my thoughts on what you're going through. Yes, I've been there before. You know, once I got some. My initial Hot Toys experience was garbage, and I broke it immediately and sold it immediately. It was one of the older Batman figures. But, you know, getting into it again and you know, coming and going the way I have, I enjoy looking at my Hot Toys, but I like to mess with stuff sometimes. So getting rid of everything, I mean, I'm sure there's people who have a fucking Hot Toy sitting next to their recliner and, you know, just fuck with their Luke Skywalker while they're watching, you know,
the 100%
Wheel of Fortune,
the Wheel of Fortune, the 700 Club. But I've never met those people.
In my mind, if you have a little table stand next to your next to your chair, you're watching the Wheel of Fortune for sure.
I mean,
like a little TV stand, like the folding at the X one.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you're eating your TV dinner.
yeah, that's right. The Hot Toys are great. Don't get me wrong, but you know, I know Matt's lightly into Transformers.
40K.
Yeah, 40K. I know he's got at least one Mezco. I don't know how many he got. And it does really, I mean, it does really put you in a place mentally, like what looks better, you know, displaying these 7 or 8 figures. And it goes back to what you were saying about $700 versus $700.
Right.
It's just, you know, how much you enjoy.
There's no wrong answer. It's the only right answer for yourself.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had like I'm only in on this now and out on everything else.
Yeah.
I think the closest, I think the biggest eye-opening experience I ever had, collectible-wise, was when I got my first Fig Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just seeing the kind of elegance of the joint tolerances
I can agree with that.
And thinking to myself, like, God, this is a different ball game.
Not a brand per se, because like whatever you're collecting, usually there's multiple brands creating the same product and the same lines of products, and they're all good. Just quarter scale. Like XM, I don't think it's better than Prime 1. Like, they're both great. You can pick and choose whatever you want. But in general, Statue was like that for me. When I got my first quarter scale, I'm like, oh, I'm done with figures.
Right. Yeah, that definitely...
That changed completely for me.
I will tell you that getting a quarter scale Statue did revamp my love in statues. Mm-hmm. Like, I started buying, like, here and there,
There's
like
6 scales
another
and
1/6 scale
yeah.
statue or a 1/8 scale statue, and just like appreciating, shit like that, like 1/10, and just appreciating something like that. I do appreciate that because it reinvigorated my appreciation. I feel like I said appreciate too much there, to be honest with you. I'm not sure if you.
Well,
appreciate...
I'll add one on, Bobby. I appreciate you buying all these statues so I can look at them.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Because if
definitely
Bobby's
not
got
in
it,
on
then
them.
we got it.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, well, that's kind of how like the realization I had to come about with your Darkness in Witchblade.
Mm-hmm.
I love those characters, and they don't get a whole lot of love in 3-dimensional form. But like, is it enough for me to be able to walk down and see him at your house and appreciate him that way? And
And
I
you
think
can
it
come
is.
whenever you want.
And I think it is. But yeah, I don't think anything has ever made me say fuck everything else. Only this now. But Fig Arts definitely changed the way I saw American-made figures.
Yeah.
And I had Play Arts before that,
It's different.
but it's different.
It's a different ballgame.
Okay. His next question was, do you think? No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I also third party. When
Yeah.
party Masterpiece stuff coming out, I'm like, oh yeah.
You fucked the main line.
I didn't realize how bad Chugs were.
Yeah,
I used to be,
that's
Chugs
fair.
are fucking generations. Like the
That's fair.
they were fucking great, and then I got third party. I'm like, oh no, they're not good.
Right.
That's fair. With WandaVision being so off the expected route, creatively and storytelling, that was
Can we never talk about WandaVision again?
unexpected.
This
Does it give
episode
you
is
hope?
WandaVision.
That's
Does
the
it give
title.
you hope for future projects that aren't the same old shirt? For instance, Skywalker's and Star Wars, Mandalorian, Monster of the Week, or Marvel beat up the big bad guy?
I think all these shows are going to have a formula
Yeah.
because we're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate.
At least
And
at least the WandaVision show was an overarching story, as opposed to Mandalorian, which is like kind of an overarching story, but really a freak of the week, freak of the week, freak of the week, and then a couple tie together.
And eggs. Lots of eggs.
Yes.
and
frogs.
Just for taste purposes, like a lot of people like that. Like Power Rangers has had the same formula for 40 years. They're still serving the same formula because that's what people want. They want the Monster of the Week with kind of an overarching story and then the big ending and then another series. So there's no reason to change something if that's what people
Let's
want.
put them underground next season. We ain't done that yet. Well, have they? I don't think they have.
His,
Wrestling?
No, Power Rangers Underground. Subterranean Rangers.
yeah, but they find the dragon bones that make up New York City.
Yes.
That was Defenders. But seems more
Or
appropriate.
it might have been one of the Bay
That does seem more
Transformers.
Power
movies.
Seems more appropriate for Power Rangers.
Yes.
Question 3: do you think the Punisher is done with the current political climate being what it is?
Oh, boy.
I think we had that. Have we had that
I think
question
we've
before?
talked
We'll
about
talk
it before
amongst
because you
ourselves.
brought it up with the police
So
using the skull flag and shit, which
I brought it up.
I do think is a valid point.
And there was a lot of Punisher skulls in the Capitol building not too terribly long ago.
Yeah.
I think that they need to either park the character for a while or they need to change his symbolism to something.
But it's-
not what it is.
Symbols are commandeered is a problem.
Right, sure.
Like he was like I don't know. I guess he's in the superhero category, but he's always presented as like this is not this guy's off his fucking rockers. He's not right.
Well, the people that are repping that skull are repping it because they have a very different understanding of who the Punisher is.
That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
it can become
they think
commandeered.
he's just this badass with guns that goes around killing everybody kind of indiscriminately. Well, not indiscriminately, for breaking the law. He's total justice, but it's not. He's PTSD, all sorts of fucked up in the head. Probably needs really serious psychiatric help.
So that's what I'm saying. Is I don't think it's a character's problem, but you can't help how people interpret shit.
Yeah, I think if they lean heavier into the mental health side of and not saying that he needs to go to therapy sessions, but saying that they make that a known thing. And truthfully, you know how I feel. Fuck everything. You stay true to the content. The content is king. It's been around since before all of this shit. It's going to be around long after all this shit is over.
Yep.
Just weather the storm.
Yep.
But we don't because we're so fucking afraid of Twitter. But if you're going to be afraid of Twitter, if you lean into that mental health side of things, I think that's your kind of crutch to get over on that side of it.
I will say I've bought every Punisher collectible I could think of I wanted to buy. I've bought it in the past year. Just because I have
Just
it. In case they say, well, like Mezco Reveals came out, a couple weeks ago and people were speculating. I wonder if they're gonna we'll get a new Punisher. I said, we're not getting a Punisher from Mezco in 2021 or 2022. I guarantee you that.
I heard, speaking of politics, I heard my first Biden joke. It took 3 months, but I heard my first one.
It's crazy. It's been 3 months.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's pretty good.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So he gets told by his chief of staff or whoever the fuck, I don't know, what do I know about any of this shit. Just to give you a heads up, Brazil was good yesterday. 3 Brazilians died of COVID today. And Biden, feeling very empathetic, fell on the floor and began sobbing and weeping and pounding the, how can this be? And, the humanity, and got back up and sat in his seat and wiped away the tear and composed himself. And he said, okay, how many is a Brazilian? And look, this joke the beauty of this joke, it would have worked with Trump too.
It would have worked
Yes,
with
Anybody that's kind of doofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have worked with some of the it would have worked with the second George Bush, but not the first.
Right.
It's funny. I was thinking about it this past weekend because something about Biden came up, and I was like, "It has been 3 months, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And the election was a big hoo-ha, and everyone's
Hoo-ha.
all fucking crazy, riled up over it. And some friends unfriended me because I refused to vote or whatever. Right. And I'm like, it's been 3 months. Your mileage may vary. My life has not changed.
No,
Nothing has fucking changed.
No, I can't say mine has either.
So that's why I've said all along. It's like, why are you so wrapped up in this shit?
I believe Jay-Z said it best when he said politics as usual. Mm-hmm. Question number 4, why does Super 7 suck so bad? She just adds to every question he says.
I gotta be honest, man. I was looking at some of their wrestling stuff that they've been putting out. Ooh, it's nice. They're like $50 a figure, though.
Yeah, see, that's the thing with Super 7 and that stuff in general is it looks really good. It's just the engineering is behind.
Yeah.
It's the sculpts that they nail it. Even the paint is clean and sharp, especially at this $50 price point. It's just that it just feels antiquated.
Speaking of Todd McFarlane, did you see the Snyder Cut figure reveals?
I did.
What the holy fuck
People
balls.
love it, though. People love it.
Show me 4 people who love it.
I've seen it all over my feed. Oh, dude.
You have some trash people on your feed,
dude,
bro.
People love McFarlane toys now.
Have you seen the Aquaman?
Don't get me wrong. I think it's all trash. But not all trash. That's not fair. I don't think it's as trash as it has been in the past. I think the line is trash because of how he's handling scale. And I don't think it's nearly as good as people that are praised. It's like Mandalorian.
Well, okay. Is this the first time that they've done screen accurate face sculpts? Because I think so. I don't think it's digital paint.
Oh,
I think about it. It's not digital paint, and we're so used to digital paint.
Yeah.
Aquaman looks like Episode 7 fucking porcelain doll Ray.
Well, most people are I feel like more drooling over the dark side ones, Yeah, it's just what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and that one is probably, but the forest for the trees, man.
Even the Steppenwolf doesn't look bad.
Right, but the ones that are supposed to look like people?
Well, so to be fair, I haven't looked at them too intently. I've just seen that people are happy with them.
Okay, do you remember when we went to get toys for Episode 7, and there was a Ray figure, and she looked like a porcelain doll?
Yes.
That's what Aquaman's face looks like.
No, I get that. But I think as soon as I see an Aquaman figure in that scale, in my head, I go through the file cabinet, and I'm like, oh no, I got a good one. He's a better looking one, and I'm happy with it. No need to care anymore about this. And I move on to the next slide.
Out of your brain.
Yeah. So, and I think that's Mafex or Figuarts. I can't get them. That shelf is a blend of the two.
Your mileage will vary.
Yeah. So I can't tell you exactly which one it is. That Cyborg figure is a Mafex, I can tell you, and it looks great. But it is built like a piece of shit. Don't even. That's enough looking at it. If Chris before it falls over. Sorry. I don't. Well, it's really bad.
I will. I'm done with Mafex. I know. I won't buy another thing from them.
I know you are.
Vote with your wallet, man.
Yeah, vote with your wallet. You gotta do what you gotta do. I pick and choose. I'm definitely in on the that Catwoman and that Superman.
Oh, listen, their stuff looks great.
Yeah,
I just wish it was built better.
I get it.
Because
I get it.
I got the replacement arms for that Spider-Man. I debated on whether I wanted to sell it or not. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of story there. I don't want to have to explain to anybody. Mason, do you want this for your collection? He's like, yeah, I'll take it. He comes to me a couple days later. Hey, you know that Spider-Man figure you had with the broken hands? So I swapped the arms out and put new hands in, and they immediately broke. So I threw it in the garbage. He's like, well, I'll keep it if you're... I don't want it back. I'm going to throw it away. I need to take a bunch of pictures. Just post them whenever somebody talks about Mayfix.
And I think that's it for today.
My God.
Full show for him
Even
having
with no notes.
from one
To the
note.
brim. That's right.
Dude, it's like we had a Brazilian things to talk about.
So I also think it's always a good thing about the wax.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had a Brazilian questions about WandaVision.
Yeah. And a Brazilian things to say.
But it's just funny because it's all related. It's all like the same question wrapped up in different ways.
I think everybody's feeling the same way because it's like even me, like I don't think that show is dog shit. I'm disappointed with it because I thought the beginning was so good and I thought the end was so average, not even bad, average. Which
Par for
like
the course, kinda.
and the first part of it was so different.
Yeah.
It gave me false hope of like just something unique.
Well, you should know better by now.
Yeah, I should, I guess. All right. Shout out to the rest of the cool table. I can see you. I can see you as you're looking at the speakers. You're part of it too. You're sitting right here next to me. And shout out to Raul on Instagram and Phil on our notes and doing Twitter. And Dante doing Facebook. And Gort, what Robert calls the Gort sensitive. And and Andy, who used to help me with Force Friday, but doesn't really because I don't really do it anymore unless we have something to talk about. But I'll still throw.
That's why I hate Star Wars now.
Esteban on Force sensitive IG, and I think that's everybody.
And with that, Flappy Labius.
Tasty taint.
Tight dick player.